disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're heavy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're heavy because you got nothing. Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to IPD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is indeed your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad. That's right, sure am glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. It's a call-in show, which means you get to call in, give us your predictions for all the excitement that will be taking place this Friday from Saudi Arabia. We got heavyweight matchups, we got featherweight matchups, we got more heavyweight matchups, even a good, highly intriguing junior middleweight little brouhaha going on in there. So it's a little bit of everything for everybody on Friday, and then on top of that, it's for $40. $40 only, fellas. No $75, $80 tag, so happy about that. By the way, the junior middleweight title bout that I was talking about was Madrimov versus Kurbanov, which, by the way, a couple of days ago, it was announced that it wasn't going to be taking place. It was canceled because of some injuries. No, somebody hadn't been cleared, I believe, or some visa issues. I forget, but it is taking place. So that is indeed. This has shaped up to be a fantastic card on paper. Hopefully, it lives up to the billing. So we're going to be taking phone calls, taking your predictions for Ngannou Joshua or Joshua Ngannou, however, whichever order you want to go with. I also want to give you my thoughts on the fight, because I am very intrigued about this matchup, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. What else? And of course, taking predictions. Fluffy Toaster says, no Canelo talk, for the love of God. Yeah, listen, I'm burned out on it. Let's wait until they've announced that he's going to be fighting Munguia. We know that. No Charlo fight. So potentially, if Benavidez gets a fight, hopefully he can fulfill his contract with the PBC. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, he does not resign with that company. And then just him and the Canelo tango or tussle on the zone, perhaps in September or maybe in November, if Benavidez can't get a fight, if his next fight is too close to September. But wherever it happens, hopefully it happens. Hey fellas, don't forget that if you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so with the Super Chat feature. The best thing you can do, though, is join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. Well, the most important thing is you need to like, subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel, all right? Don't forget you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify at your leisure. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about who we got here. Windy City, Never Sovers, Alejandro Solis, Quentin Lassiter, Wexford, Protectorate General, Fluffy Toasters 89, the aforementioned one, Mars, SSC in the house. Shout out to SSC. The Quags in there as well. Shout out to the Quags. Dark Hate Doe, Reverend Pickles, Lalo Soto Gaming. Shout out to him. Shout out to Rafael Garza, another one of the initiated. Shout out to him, the anointed. Shout out to Wayne Fitness, the wise King Bucho in the house, who says, hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. I might have added 2 likes, by the way, but hey, he did indeed say hit that like. We also have some rando, hard recoil, and many more people to come. I am sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. All right, so we've got Joshua versus Ngannou this Friday And Joshua is indeed one of the faces of boxing. It's him and Canelo. Arguably, Fury, although he by himself, I don't know about the numbers he does in terms of pay-per-view. I'm going to suspect that he's a level below Anthony Joshua, but be that as it may, Joshua taking on Francis Ngannou. Now, this fight would not be as intriguing as we would normally suspect had it not been for Ngannou giving Tyson Fury a very good fight last October. And that was something that I failed to expect and predict. And I can't help but wonder if how much of that had to do with Fury's lackadaisical shape. Now, of course, some people say, well, come on, he trained 12 weeks. He said so. Tyson Fury says a lot of things. And for you to take him at his word every single time could be to your detriment. He certainly didn't look like he trained for 12 weeks. And he showed up at 277 pounds. The last time he showed up that heavy was for the third Wilder fight. And we all know how he looked in that one. And then later on, he said that the reason why he looked lackadaisical was because of certain emergencies and obstacles that had prevented him from training properly. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see that he was indeed in less than stellar shape. But then again, Ngannou showed that he could box better than expected. And, you know, a virtual novice shouldn't have given one of the top 3 heavyweights in the world the type of fight that he gave him. So we know some things about Ngannou. And one of those things is that he can crack. Now, this is interesting because Joshua seems to be dialed in. But he did seem a little bit more of a cheery mood from Anthony Joshua in the press conference, today's press conference, than his demeanor in going into the Wallin fight. He was providing one-word answers, being very terse, and I couldn't help but wonder, what's going on with him? Is this a good sign or a bad sign? Well, it turned out the way he beat Wallin, it was a very good sign. Now he seems a little bit more cheery, but you would have to assume that he's stupid to overlook Ngannou. Because based on what we saw that he was able to pull off against Fury, you can't overlook this guy. Now, I am looking at the odds here. And as you can see, the odds makers have Joshua more or less as a 4-1 favorite. Now, it's not quite a 10-1, 12-1 type of divide. Now, that's a mismatch right there. 4-1 indicates that some people are putting money on him. And according to the BDA poll that Buccio started a couple of days ago, it was about 53% for Joshua, about 47% for Ngannou. So some people are giving him a shot. And I believe that has to do with the knockout power that he's displayed. But there's a lot of questions out there about the pace. Recall, everybody, that this fight is scheduled for 10 rounds and not 12. Check this out. 10 rounds indeed. And apparently, that was, I don't know who negotiated that, actually, now that I think about it. It wasn't Joshua, I don't think. And so anyway, it's going to be an interesting fight. Now, what's interesting as well about this fight is how Tyson Fury can fight 2 different ways, right? He can fight from the outside like he did against Vladimir Klitschko, or he can maul you and try to destroy you the way he did to Wilder 2 times, the way he did to Wallin in the latter part of their fight. But against Ngannou, it didn't work. And that's because Ngannou is just as strong, if not stronger, than Fury. So therein lies the predicament of trying to go chest to chest with a guy like Ngannou. Interestingly enough, in his last fight, Joshua, that's against Wallin, showed up at 251 pounds. Ngannou, for his part, against Fury, showed up at 272 pounds. So just 5 pounds lighter, thereabout, than Fury. But it's all muscle from his end. Whereas Fury, you have to assume or you have to wonder how much of that is fat. Of course, muscle weighs more than fat, so I mean, we're not going to get into all of that. Ngannou is 37 years old. Joshua, no spring chicken at 34. But then again, this is the heavyweight division. So these guys tend to have a little bit more of a longer shelf life, especially a guy like Joshua who can crack. But especially this applies to a guy like Zhilei Zhang, who's going to be fighting this Friday as well. He's got that George Foreman type style where he can stand his ground and deflect shots with his by rolling with shots, deflecting them with a cross guard, rolling with them, blocking them. So he has that advantage. Joshua, not so much. He's not a very physical type of fighter. And he's not going to have to be against Ngannou because, like I said earlier, that could prove deleterious to him. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, by the way, are the phone lines open? I'm going to open up the phone lines right off the bat here, in case anybody wants to call in, give us their predictions for the Joshua Ngannou bout or any of the bouts that are going to be coming up. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Now, hey, before we continue with that, I was just reading the news here, see if I missed anything. I mean, people want to talk about the Ryan Garcia thing. Look, Ryan Garcia is going through what appears to be some sort of psychotic break. Now, the question is that because of his lifestyle, or does his lifestyle and psychotic break, or a less psychotic break, stem from what he's alleging occurred to him, which is some sort of a sexual abuse from very prominent individuals. Now, this is a boxing show. This is not a second Renaissance show, so I can't get too much into this. So we'll keep it within the bounds of boxing, the boundaries of boxing, and suffice to say that he's clearly unwell. I doubt that this is a troll job. If it is a troll job, it's gonna come back to bite him in the ass, because as Steve Kim said a couple of days ago, this is a guy that's been championing mental health, this and that. For him to go down this route and then at the end of the day just say, hey, I was just trolling, guys. It was just a prank, bro. It's not going to look good long term. It's, we're entering boy that cried wolf territory. So, I don't think he's that brash to do something like that. It does appear that, and again, if you saw what was occurring to him, we documented that during the shows the last couple of weeks. He's had a hoarse voice for about a month. He was acting very manic in that PBD episode, Valuetainment podcast or whatever it's called. And, his eyes have gotten progressively droopier. I've mentioned this before as well. So indicative of a guy who's doing some sort of narcotics. I don't know if it's in pill form or cocaine, whatever, but clearly he's on the downslide, and now he's saying that the Haney fight will occur. I doubt it. Also in the news, I just checked out on Ring Magazine, or Ring TV, Jaron Ennis, who's been on ice since last July, I believe, is finally pressing, or somebody's pressing for him to fight Cody Crowley. The IBF title fight heads to the March 19 purse bid. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the fight's going to take place, but at least there's some official movement with the IBF in regards to getting him a fight. Perhaps the best course of action for Jaron Ennis would be to leave the PBC and get himself with a competent promoter. Now, I know that the excuses being made for Jaron Ennis is that nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. Well, you can always find somebody to fight you. If you have a good promoter who can come up with good money for somebody, they'll step in. Now, that doesn't mean they'll give it their all, but at least you stay active in the ring. And that is something that Jaron Ennis is failing to achieve. He's already, mid-20s? A little bit past his mid-20s? He's not a 22-year-old in there. So, get moving, man. That's the only, because otherwise time flies by. He's 26. This June, he's going to be 27. Again, he's not old, but come on, man. De La Hoya, when he was with Top Rank, he fought Tito Trinidad when he was 26. Third weight class. Fighting for all the marbles at 26 years old. Now, of course, some people can say, yeah, but BDA, it's different times, different. Okay. But what I'm saying is if Ennis was with Top Rank, you really think they'd let him sit on the shelf for so long? Look at what Shakur Stevenson, what they've been doing with him. The guy's not entertaining. Now we've tried, and he's not as good as people were making him out to be. We've been trying to say that for months here, or years rather. But they still manage, despite some of the less than stellar performances he's given. Top Rank manages to fight him fights. And again, the book on him was, nobody wants to fight him. Well, they found somebody to fight him in Edwin de los Santos. So all I'm saying is, if I highly doubt that if Ennis was with any other promotional entity, that he'd be incurring the trouble that he has now. That's just the way it seems like to me. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. Let me see if okay, so I'm opening up the phone lines here in case anybody wants to call in. And then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this show, which is the Ngannou-Joshua fight. I tell you why I'm intrigued with this. Because precisely of what happened there between Ngannou and Fury. And even though I do believe Fury was out of shape for that fight and underestimated Ngannou, I'm still intrigued because it's a heavyweight division. One punch can change it all. Ngannou does box better than I expected him. I'd never really seen him box before. You know what? I'm not a big UFC guy anymore. I used to be back in the day, but I never actually seen the guy fight in MMA either that much. So I didn't know what to expect from the guy. And now we know he does have some good attributes to him. And so, but just to get it out of the way, fellas, I am picking Joshua to win this one. In fact, I was talking with Bucho. Bucho's adamant that Joshua's going to stop him. When Bucho starts talking stoppages, that's like a guy that's predicting, that's like a prophet that has a 100% hit rate predicting the apocalypse. Now, Bucho doesn't always get him right, but what I'm saying is, when he says knockout, he means knockout. I remember when Marquez and Pacquiao were going to tango for a fourth time, he said, I have a feeling someone's going to get knocked out. I said, really? Marquez knocking out Pacquiao? I don't see it. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Because I do believe some people might be overrating, perhaps, Ngannou a little bit. So here it goes. We're going to be taking predictions, like I said. So here it goes. My prediction, I'm going to go with Joshua. For the moment, I'm just writing Joshua, which means by decision, stoppage, any way he wins. I might change it to be, I might specify, be more specific rather, by the end of this show. Maybe some of you guys who call in can convince me to either continue in that course of action or maybe to change my prediction. We'll see what happens. The phone lines are open, fellas. I believe they're open. Yes, indeed. So make sure to call in. The number's right there in the left-hand, the middle portion of your screen, the left-hand middle portion of your screen. I'll be putting the number here as well. Look at that. There it is. So make sure to call in and give us your predictions for all of the fights. Well, maybe not all the fights. I won't be taking down the predictions for all the other fights, but just for the Joshua Ngannou. But you're welcome to give us predictions for whatever you want. So what was I going to say? Okay, so yeah, so Ngannou is 270 pounds. I don't know how much he's going to weigh in for Friday's fight. That tomorrow is the whatchamacallit. Tomorrow is the weigh-in. So we'll see what happens there. What else was I going to say here? I'm trying to open up something here. So yeah, hey fellas, please call in. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this fight. Now, I got to tell you, why do I think Joshua's going to beat Ngannou? Well, Ngannou, like I said, has demonstrated some good qualities in that one fight against Fury. But I think there's also a couple of limitations. Now, what happened against Fury was, especially at 277 pounds, is a one punch at a time type guy. He's never really been a combination puncher, less so at 277 pounds. And if you watch the Ngannou fight, he would throw 1, 2, and if he missed, he missed, and if he landed, he would still follow it up with a clinch. But then once he got dropped, that was like, whoa, wake-up call, and that's when he became hesitant to keep throwing. Now, everybody in boxing, you've heard me say this before, has a safe space. Every fighter has one move that they repeat. Now, when you're looking for weaknesses, whatever, it's not necessarily weaknesses that you're looking for, is repetition. What does a guy do often? Sometimes, if he does something often well, it can still be considered a weakness because you are seeing that is a repetition that he continues to, it's something he repeats, is what I'm saying here. And you could potentially use that to your advantage. Now, Ngannou's safe space is leaning back. As you can see here. See that? Constantly leaning back. Because what he was looking for against Fury was he wanted Fury to throw that right hand and counter with his left hook right here. But see how he's doing it well. He's timing it well. Give him credit for that. But this type of leaning back here, look at that. At this point, there's not much he can do. That's a guy that's a little bit of... it's a no-no. Now, when he caught Fury here, he didn't lean back, as you can see. Or he didn't lean back as much as he was doing previously. And that's why he was able to get the momentum and the leverage to drop Fury, hitting him on top of the head. And that's why Josh was going to have to watch out for that, because as you can see here against Luis, he was in a temple. And as you can see there against Dylan White as well, starting from too far away, not sending it up with a jab. Just leaning with a right hand, and boom. Here against Jermaine Franklin too, he cannot overshoot that runway. Then again, these guys are a little quicker, especially Andy Luis, way quicker than Ngannou. You'll notice that speed differential here. See how Ngannou can do that against a guy like Fury, 270-pound bag of milk, curled cheese, as I like to say. But you can see here that, see there again, Joshua overshooting the runway against Franklin. So Joshua is going to have to feint a lot, jab a lot, do everything that he was doing in the Usyk fights. Don't go big, because at 250 pounds, whether you go big or not, you're still going to be getting your opponent's respect. 250 pounds, believe me, Joshua can hurt you. Now, as you can see here, Ngannou does have some wrinkles to his game. Like I said, pretty good timing. See here how he takes a step back, timing Fury's jab. This guy knows what he's doing. And look at his feet positioning too. Perhaps the stand is a bit too wide. He stands, the feet, but he's still got enough leverage to hit. And again, 270 pounds. That's a hard shot. He's got blunt force, trauma type power there. Here again, see, you see that? See, at this point, this is about the 5th round, and now he has Fury hesitating. That's why as soon as he got hit with something there, you see Fury there stepping back with that little check left hook there. You got to follow it up with something. But he was too scared to try there, Fury was. Now that, I got to slow it down. I thought I had it in slow motion. I don't know if you... What the fuck? Yeah, no screen, I know. Sorry about that. I get a little too excited here, fellas. What can I say? Did I... when did it stop? Was it never on, I think? Yeah, whatever. Well, you can see there. Okay. Pretty darn good. So there you have the timing right there. Like I said. Check left hook. Now this move here, he goes with the 1-2. Fury rolls from the shot away from it. But what you see Fury doing here is, see his feet? He's changing the angles. Look at his rear foot. Excuse me, his lead foot. He switches it. See, he steps back with it, creating a different angle away from the right hand. So now he's stepping away to his left. And so what Ngannou does, look at his feet. See that? See how he reset and actually angled himself towards Fury. This guy knows what he's doing in there. But again, and then with a left hook. Look at that. So good move. But can he lead? I mean, he's showing good stuff against an out-of-shape fat Fury who relegated himself to one shot at a time and was then hesitant after the knockdown to string more than 3 punches together. But when Fury started preventing Ngannou from giving him any openings, then Ngannou sort of got a little disheveled. Look at that. Here, see that? Now, this was early on in the fight. Look at how slow he is. See that? This is again, he's a novice, and this is where you start seeing his his flaws. See that jumping in? Look, I don't even think he's looking at the target, and he catches a hook right there. He catches a 1-2 coming in because he's unprotected here. See that? Look at how wide open he is. and then catches that. Can he take those type of shots from Joshua, who's a crisper puncher than Fury? Look at that. See that? Chin up in the air. See that? Chin up in the air as he's coming in. There too. He's blocking well, but that punch got through there, even though Fury's not really throwing it properly. Fellas, I just want to remind you that the phone lines are open, so if you want to call in and give us your thoughts on this fight, who are you picking? Are you even going to buy the fight? $40. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. Call in and let us know. There's a number right there. All right, so back to this. So again, just a little short film analysis here to illustrate my points. Now you see there against Franklin here, Joshua has pretty good timing. So again, if Ngannou just comes in a straight line with his hands down, he's going to get touched up like that. Hands where I can see them. You see that? Look, a couple of feints, and look at how much Ngannou clearly buying that feint. Look at that. And then he tries to go with a left hook, but that left hook, even had it landed, wasn't going to do anything. Look at that. See how much? I mean, that is a novice move right there. So it just goes to show you, he does a lot of things well, Ngannou does, but then there's other mistakes that you go, yep, he's a novice. And I'm just showing you there that heavy left hook from Joshua that shook off Franklin. And then again, and that was Fury. But that's the problem with Fury. Notice the difference between Joshua and Fury. Nice compact hook there, more or less. And Fury is indeed just slapping with it. His hand is just too straight. Did we lose the connection there? Sorry about that. Yeah, I think we had a little... sorry about that. This thing froze. All right, so you can see that Fury sort of slaps. See that? How his arm is a little bit too straight? He's not closing it. He's not making it compact. It's not a compact hook. And so a guy like Ngannou, who's tough, he didn't really respect Fury's punches. And that is because, in a way, again, it all goes back to Fury being dropped with that left hook. It just made him hesitant. Now the problem is, again, I'm telling you, Ngannou was banking on with that counter left hook. That he was banking on Fury throwing his right hand so he could counter him with the left hook, which worked. But if you're not quick enough, it actually leaves you open for that right hand. See that? He still threw it as soon as he got hit, so he's got good instincts. That he was able to drill this into his head that, okay, whether he catches me with the right or not, I'm still going to be able to throw my left hook. But you see what Fury did here. He didn't just throw the 1-2 like a maniac. See, he feinted a little bit with an up jab, threw a left hook, and essentially positioned Ngannou to be hit with that right hand. Here as well. Well, hold on a second. There. Left hook. And look at Ngannou closing his eyes. Too late to counter with that left hook. There, and again, just playing with him. Fury was just throwing him with the lead hand. The best moments that Fury did have were jabbing with his jabs. And you see, because he's setting those jabs up with feints. And he's doubling up on the jab. Whenever he would throw a single jab, Ngannou was able to lean back into his safe space, his safe zone, and make those jabs miss. But here, see here, he leaned back. Then he tried to change levels here. But now look at how wide open he is after missing with that left hook, which again is his go-to weapon. Boom, catches another jab. So that's what Joshua has to do. Jab, jab, jabberoo. And you see him against one of the master jabbers of his time, Klitschko. He was able to get that jab in. Against Jermaine Franklin too. And this is much later now in his career. Look at how, see that beautiful jab right there from Joshua. He's not even loading up. It's not a shotgun jab. But he's stepping into it, but it's not really. But see how it's just coming off the shoulder. Boom. Not telegraphing it. It's like a cobra. Waff. There was a guy that we called like that in the industry back in the days, a cobra, because he had this move where he. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that now. But see that jab, jab, jab. That's what he has to do. Now, of course, he's going to be facing a guy who's going to be leaning back like Helenius. And Ngannou he does the same thing that Helenius did, which is leaning back. That's his safe space. So you have to set him up for that right hand. See that jab to the body first, right to the body, jab to the body, and then comes the coup de grace. Now, the big bozo no-no is going to be for Joshua to do this. See that? No, very, very sloppy setups, leaning in with one shot at a time. It's going to get his ass countered. See that? See that one? He just came in there with the... There. That he could potentially get countered with a left hook. So, big bozo no-no to just jump in there, because that's what Ngannou's banking on. I suspect Ngannou knows he can just outbox Anthony Joshua. He's going to try to get him in some sort of brawl exchange so that he can counter with that left hook. Incidentally, in all of those clips that I showed you there, did you ever see Ngannou counter with a right hand? I couldn't show you all of the whatchamacallem, the clips, but he did try to counter with some combos. All right, hold on a second. I think Gonzalo. Okay, listen, I'm going to talk to Gonzalo here live on the air. He seems to be. I think he wants to make a couple of comments here. I'm not so sure. I'm curious to hear it because I haven't. Gonzalo, you there? Gonzalo?
Is this Mr. BDA?
Yes, indeed. What's up, man?
My internet is dodgy because well, I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but if I have bad connection, just tell me. If I'm kind of coming in unintelligible, if you cannot hear me, because I got my internet is crap. Remember back in the days when I used to be on the with the bamboo stick? It's kind of the same situation. Remember?
I remember, man. Yeah, that was the internet there in the Philippines. But what are your thoughts on this Ngannou Joshua fight?
2 power punchers. So it's kind of like the opposite of a war of attrition. It just, are you going to get caught with a heavy punch? So when it comes to trading, you know, Mr. BD, you know that Joshua, he was kind of a late starter, and that sounds like an oxymoron because he was an amateur. He's a gold medalist, but he's not really that polished. Now, well, he's got some experience. Obviously, he's a professional, a true fighter right now. But you know, he's not an Andy Ruiz. He doesn't have like the like, what do you call it? He makes a lot of mistakes. He's very mechanical. And he can be clipped. He can be clipped. He can be clipped.
I agree.
We're going to play Rock'em Sock'em. Ngannou can play Rock'em Sock'em with Anthony Joshua because he's not that good. He's not a polished fighter. He can never develop into that fighter. He just can't. It comes with the territory. He's just too muscle heavy. He's like a dinosaur. Anthony Joshua. Like, look, his body is bigger. He's a big dude, but all that muscle and just like, look, he's mechanical. He squares up. He's a robot. He's not that good. All right now. So with that being said, let me get your prediction here. How do you think this goes down? Anthony Joshua, 8th round knockout. Anthony Joshua.
All right. So despite you saying that Joshua is imperfect, which I agree with you, he does make a lot of mistakes. You think despite that, you still think he's too much for Ngannou?
Yeah. Because he's learning on the job. He's a trailblazer. He's learning on the job. He's fought a lot. He's fought Usyk. He fought Andy Ruiz. Despite all that, he's learning the job. With all that being said.
All right, Joshua, 8th round KO.
Knockout.
So, but do you think it's competitive early on, or
Uppercut. Uppercut. Middle, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right,
2 minutes in the 8th round.
Do you
at
think
the 2
it's
minute mark.
competitive? Do you
Uppercut.
think it's competitive early on, or do you think Joshua dominates the way through?
Seesaw battle. Back and forth.
Jeez, Luis, early on. All right, listen, Gonzalo, do me a favor, man. I'm going to move on here. Get a cup of coffee because you sound like you're still just revving up. And if I'm still here, I'll call you back. All right, man?
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right, man. Take care, man. Yeah, I don't think Gonzalo's 100% right now. Let me tell you. But hey, 8th round knockout. So he says it's still going to be a seesaw. That's something that I would like to see. I don't know about you fellas. I want to see a back and forth tussle. I want to see a rumble. You know, the rumble in the jungle. That's what they called it, right? When's the last time we saw a really good heavyweight rumble? We saw on Saturday, we had, I always forget, it's not Schofield. What was the name of the guy that fought in the main event on Top Rank? Floyd Schofield? I always confuse him with Shushu Carrington, whatever. Anyway, that was a good fight. But in heavyweight standards, I want a good heavyweight tussle. And hopefully we get that this Friday. I was going to say Saturday. But yeah, and by the way, somebody asked in the chat, hey, why is this fight on a Friday? I don't know. I don't know if something's going on Saturday. I don't know if there's a UFC event and they didn't want to compete with it, but nevertheless, that's what it is. Fellas, the phone lines are open. I put the number there. It's also in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Call in and give us your predictions for this fight. The other thing I wanted to talk about was in regards to Zhilei Zhang versus Parker. That's the other fight that's going to be taking place this Friday. And this is, excuse me. Should we get to that, or do I have something else to talk about? All right, so Ngannou. So just to recap then, Ngannou, one of the reasons why he was able to get Fury's respect was because of that knockdown. And Fury was just relying on that 1-2, and then when he tried to go with the dirty boxing, didn't work out because he was fighting a guy who was just as strong, if not stronger than he was. And again, look at this, one punch at a time. And Ngannou just does that, the leaning back. And not for nothing, but even though Helenius was doing that against Joshua here, you can tell that Helenius, despite being a big dude, he's also a little bit more agile, has more dexterity to his game than does Ngannou. Let's rewind that and see how Ngannou's just... that left hook, though, is dynamite. Don't get me wrong. But then again, Tyson Fury, look at how he's sloppy himself there. But then again, like Gonzalo said, Joshua isn't exactly a master. Yeah, he's very good, but he does have his flaws, as we can see here. But I must say, Anthony Joshua is a strange character, depending on which boxing fan you ask, because he's been underrated and overrated. It's been both. Some people just don't think that highly of Alexander Usyk. So they see Joshua, they see 2 losses against a smaller guy, and they think, he's not that good. But then you look at the class of guys he's outclassed. He outclassed Joseph Parker, outboxed him. A guy like Kubrat Pulev, who goes toe-to-toe with guys like Chisora and all that, AJ wipes the floor with him. So you can see that there's a clear distinction of levels here. And Joshua's right there at the top. It just happens to be the fact that Usyk is a level above him in terms of skill, in terms of conditioning and all that. But he's fighting a guy in Ngannou who's not Alexander Usyk. Now, maybe that, by virtue of being his own man, maybe he will be able to pull off something like a stoppage win over Joshua. But at 1 punch at a time, I don't know. And if he drops Joshua or stuns him, does he have the firepower and the tenacity and the stamina to put an exclamation point on that and finish Joshua? Those are the questions that I want to see answered. That's why I'm intrigued by this fight. All right, listen, we got a phone call here. Let's go to 470. 470, you're on the air. 470, what's on your mind?
What's up, BDA?
What's up, man?
Well, it's never Sovers for the Discord, bro. And
what's up, Sovers?
Just want to call in and give a prediction. No one's calling in. Y'all need to call in and give some predictions, bro. Where's Booty Loose at, man? We need a rant. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I mean,
if
there's no Canelo, it's if there's no Canelo, it seems like people are just a little disinterested, perhaps.
Right? No, yeah. When you said BDA that you don't want to make this show about Canelo, there's no one wanted to call in. Everyone just threw their phone against the wall and shit.
Yeah, we're going through Canelo mania right now. Everyone's waiting on his word, his beck and call. But what are your thoughts, Sovers, on this fight?
Well, you showed some good clips, bro, with Ngannou with the leaning back, bro. Like, I think that when Tyson Fury fought him, bro, there was I don't want to say the fix was in, but there was I forgot who talked about it with me, bro, but it might have been Dora. He talked about how all his money was going for a knockout, and then there was like nothing on the decision. You could say that some people think that Fury carried this dude, Ngannou, or like he purposely stretched out the fight.
What do you think?
To like rob everybody, basically. So, yeah, I have some questions about that fight, right? But what I was trying to say was I think Tyson Fury underestimated Ngannou, right? Because you seen him fight in the octagon. You seen him box. You seen him fight with the smaller gloves on. But that's not boxing, you know what I mean? There's different rules. They stand different. The timing's different. And, there wasn't much footage on him boxing. So I think that it's kind of like an amateur bout. You know what I mean? You don't have any time to study your opponent. You're like, all right, you're fighting him, get in there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And the timing, I think, kind of threw off Tyson Fury. Now with AJ, there's already footage of him boxing. You see the mistakes he makes. You can see the tendencies he does. AJ's gonna bait him, gonna make him lean back and just shoot a right hand down the middle. He has a great right hand. You know what I mean? And it didn't work on Franklin, but I think he'll hurt this dude. He'll hurt Ngannou. I think he'll knock him out, bro. I think in 6 rounds.
Whoa!
I think he'll stop him. You know what I mean? I just think he's an older dude. He's a little bit older dude, and I just feel like you don't like those tendencies, bro. Like there's already footage out for him. You can figure him out. He's not that experienced. I think going in blind had a lot to do with Fury getting caught off guard, and then also there's the suspicious thing with the money, with the betting thing. You know what I mean?
Because you know what, though? Because you mentioned because that there was no footage of Ngannou sparring or fighting, and I agree. But shouldn't a guy like Fury be able to figure that out in the ring as well? Like if you see a novice's mistakes, I would think that a professional, especially a champion like Fury, would be able to exploit those. Do you think it had to do so? But that's what I'm trying to ask you. Do you think then that the fight was on the level?
I don't know. I think it was really uncharacteristic of Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? But I do think when he got dropped, I saw the look in his eye. He looked surprised. He looked scared. And that might have something to do with him being tentative the rest of the fight. He might have just got shell-shocked, and he couldn't recover. So he just said, let me do what I feel like I can do to get the win and get out of here. You know what I mean? It didn't look like they were going to give the fight to Ngannou under any circumstances unless he knocked out Tyson Fury. So maybe Tyson Fury just went in survival mode. He's like, let me just try to box however I can and get up out of here,
Uh-huh.
But, no, I'm not sure if that fight was on the level, dude, to be honest.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I thought
because there was no way that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't see any way Ngannou winning other than by knockout because I thought he won. You know what I mean? I know everyone, it's like a controversial decision. You know what I mean? But I didn't see any way that Ngannou's winning without a knockout. So it kind of wasn't on the level. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, maybe. I mean, I guess, like you said, we'll see, and hopefully it's a good fight this Saturday. Well, listen, Sobers, man, thank you for your prediction. I got to go here, but we'll talk later, all right, man? Take it easy out there.
Yeah, hey, BDA, you got to talk about Nick Ball fighting the fucking Lizard King. And
I mean, hey, not for nothing, but somebody...
And Joshua Parker. Joseph Parker.
People in the chat are vicious. Somebody said that they look like a special ed class when they were doing the, facing off against each other. Yeah, they're weird looking guys, man. But anyway, listen, Silvers, I gotta go, man. Thank you for your call, man. Take it easy out there.
All right, bro.
All right, so far we've got a couple of people picking Joshua. Nobody picking Ngannou so far, but the evening is young. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. We're taking predictions for the Joshua Ngannou fight. Let's go to my phone call. Let's go to 832. 832, you're on the air. 832, what's on your mind?
Hey, BDA, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. Hope you're doing fantastic as well, man. What's up?
All good, man, all good. I saw that you guys were online. The topic, predictions, well, I wouldn't rule out Ngannou, but I'm going to go with Joshua. As long as he maintains the fight at the mid-range, going on a pocket fight with Ngannou will be a mistake. He doesn't have the experience or strength to struggle with a refrigerator with legs like Ngannou. And if he does another Andy Ruiz 2 strategy, it's going to be a boring fight. It's going to be embarrassing for him. So I guess his game plan should be the mid-range. He has the power to surprise Ngannou from the mid-range. I don't know if knocking him out, Ngannou, from his past fights, I guess, especially MMA, he fought big punchers. I never saw the guy even buckle his legs for seconds. At least I haven't. But yeah, I think that should be the game plan. I believe that's what's going to happen. But he needs to be aware of Ngannou. Ngannou is going to try to surprise him. He's not afraid of throwing at the same time you throw, and that's key. Once Joshua commits and tries to land, he might even let the punch land, just he can land. He's basically willing to take one just to give one. Joshua is in a good moment. He should be able to complete the task.
So, okay, first of all, what do we call you? What name do I put down here for the prediction?
So what was that?
What's your name, your nickname, so I can write it down for the prediction?
My name. Okay, Zambrano. You can call me Zambrano.
Zambrano. Is that with a Z or with an S?
Con la Z del zorro, Zambrano.
Orale. Okay, so I got you down, Zambrano. Joshua by, how'd you say?
Yeah, Joshua on points.
On points. Okay. So you think, because that's the thing, though. It's Ngannou does look like a tough guy, too. Fury, even though he's not the biggest puncher in the world, didn't seem to bother him too much with his shot. So maybe he makes it and on top of that, caller, it's a 10-rounder. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing an exhausted Ngannou there unless Joshua can do that or get to that point in under 10 rounds. Well, anyway, man, Zambrano.
Unless it gets messy. If it gets messy, we're going to see multiple knockdowns on both sides. Both guys, if it gets crazy, the gas tank of both guys can get low. But I don't know. AJ finally learned how to be cautious and patient, and he's not falling into the pressure of knocking every single man out after Andy Ruiz knocked him out. So yeah, I saw even moments in the Walling fight in which he had the chance to actually try to knock him out to finish him, but he was reluctant. He's more confident now, but he's reluctant to be the crazy finisher that he was. So I don't know. I don't think it would end unless he lands the punch and Ngannou shows surprisingly hurt, very weirdly hurt. But yeah, on point. And before I leave, man, I would like to hear you guys from your boxing fan standpoint and using your expertise to analyze the Sile-San and Parker fight. I would like to hear your opinion about it, Jimmy's opinion, because I believe that's the actual, for the real boxing fans, that's like the main card, like the main fight of the night. So
all right, we'll talk about it.
I would pay for that fight.
Fantastic. All right, we'll talk about it, Zambrano. Thank you for your call, and call back next time, right, man?
All right.
Take it easy out there.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, before we continue, shout out to Frankie Sainz for his actually for reestablishing his membership program. And he says, come on, Mr. BDA, everybody on YouTube is getting Glacier interviews. Time to flex some muscle and do the same, my man. Well, I mean, there's not much that I can ask him that people haven't already asked him. Maybe Jimmy and all those other dudes can come up with something, but yeah, I'm waiting. I'm good the way I am right now. And also right now, I'm getting tired of this Canelo talk. Canelo Benavides, Canelo PBC. It's enough, man. We got a good fight. We get a very good card this Friday. Also, may I also say I don't even know if Rick Glacier would come here. So there's that little issue to unravel. But I mean, if enough people want him on, we aim to please. So probably try to get him on. Hopefully that would work out. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. It really helps us out. We're taking down predictions for the Ngannou Joshua fight and the card as well, hearing your thoughts about it. Let's go to our phone call. Let's go to 925. 925, you're on the air. 925, what's on your mind? Oh boy.
What up, BDA? This is Richie Rich.
Richie Rich or Riley Rich?
No, Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. Richie, what's up, man?
That's right. Just going over the fight, Ngannou and AJ. I feel like AJ is gonna do everything he can he's gonna outbox him. He's gonna clearly win on points. I don't see him knocking him out because that dude, he's huge. He's a monster. You know, he's coming from UFC, and you know, I don't think he has the power to knock him out. But I feel like he's gonna do everything and just outbox him. He's gonna do great. He's gonna look good, and that's something that Tyson Fury can do, you know. So I'll be damned if this UFC fighter comes in and takes out AJ, because I mean that'll look bad for his boxing fans, you know, and for the sport. So I want AJ to do everything he can, you know, just to get the win and just outbox him. And I feel like that's how.
Now let me ask you something, Richie Rich. So then you're okay if Joshua fails to stop him? If he goes to the decision against a 0-1 fighter, you're cool with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with him, you know, clearly winning by points. Like I said, dude's a beast. I mean, he could knock him out. I could see it, but I don't feel like he will. I don't see AJ knocking him out. I just see him winning by decision.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that is because some people are probably going to ask that question as well. It's like they're going to look at Ngannou's record on paper and go, yeah, but he's only 0-1. But I think at this point it's safe to say he's a different type of 0-1. So far, most people are going with Joshua by points. And yeah, anything else you want to say there, Richie?
Yeah, Tyson Fury could knock him out. I don't see AJ knocking him out. But also, for the Zhang and Parker fight, I'm looking forward to that fight too. I think I'm kind of excited for that one a little more. That one should be some fireworks there, and I'm going with Zhang on that one. That one should be good. I could see him knocking him out.
All right. Yeah, I think that's his big puncher coming off. I mean, if he can stop Joyce, he can stop anybody. So I'm not going to disagree too much with that one.
Definitely. So he definitely got the power punch, and hopefully he eats a lot of orange chicken so he can knock him out, because I want to see that.
a lot of orange duck chicken. There you go, man. All right, well, listen, Richie Rich, thank you for your call. Call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there.
All right, later.
Laters. All right, Michael Poe says Joshua by decision. All right, Michael, I got you. Hold on a second. That's right, fellas. We're taking phone calls here. Joshua Ngannou. And most people so far, if we get to the list here real quick, I'm going with Joshua. I'm leaning towards stoppage, but something in me tells me, that Ngannou is pretty durable. He might go the distance. Gonzalo says Joshua, 8th-round knockout. Sovers says Joshua KO round 6. Zambrano says Joshua on points. Richie Rich says Joshua on points. Michael Poe says Joshua on points. All right, fellas, numbers right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Make sure to call in. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 510. 510, you on the air. 510, what's on your mind?
What's up, Mr. BDA Ash here? I got Anthony Joshua by knockout, all because Ngannou isn't a bad boxer. I mean, he clipped Tyson Fury, dropped the mid-exchange. So that means he is thinking, right? Like, he knows how to set up traps and everything. He doesn't have some boxing skills. But the problem with Tyson Fury really is that Tyson Fury's used to fighting guys that are like 30 pounds less than him, 40 pounds less than him. And Fury isn't really a big puncher. It's just that he's 30, 40 pounds heavier than him, right? And Ngannou's aren't like the same size as Fury. So he wasn't really able to, out-muscle him, get him scared of his size or anything. And that's why we've seen him struggle, was he's not used to fighting guys his size. And the lack of power, like, Ngannou just disrespected it. But with someone like AJ, like, a big 1-2 is easily going to hurt Ngannou, in my opinion. Especially since AJ does have power, unlike Fury.
So I agree. Yeah, you're making some salient points right there, caller. Now, just remind me, who is this again? What do we call you for the prediction?
H.
Asher H. What?
ASH.
Oh, Ash. Okay, excuse me. Because I'm fielding predictions here from people in the chat too. Okay, so you're saying Joshua by knockout. You want to go with a specific round or?
I'll say like the 7th.
Yeah, that's what most people are going with. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so Ash is saying Joshua knockout 7th round. You want to talk about any of the undercards fights or?
Yeah. I don't really care about the Joshua fight really, but I'm really there for the Zhang and Parker fight. I think I got Zhang by knockout early. I think
early.
Zhang has good, like, he'll be able to walk Parker into a trap, especially because as good as Joseph Parker's performance against Wilder was, it seemed like it was more of Wilder not showing up than it was Zhang actually, or Parker actually doing his job. You know what I mean? Like, Wilder looked like he was just looking for big 1-2, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, this dude Zhang ain't fucking Wilder. He knows how to set up his left hand properly, and he can punch with both hands. So that's going to be a different type of dynamic there.
And he's got lightning fast combinations because when he was fighting Joe Joyce, you would see mid combinations. He would be able to pop 3 punches, and one of those would be a body shot on Joyce before Joyce can even get a shot off with him.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see, man. I'm going to talk more about that fight. But all right, Ash, I got to move on here. But thank you for your call, and call back next time, right, man?
Yep.
Take it easy out there. All right, that was Ash. With that prediction, I got the Quacks prediction. Yeah, because people are coming in with their predictions on the chat, too. I'm going to write down Earl Stevens's, and then I got to get to more phone calls here. Earl Stevens says, AJ decision. Whoa. All right. I don't know why when he said decision, I think close decision. I don't know if that's what he means. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to, who's next here? 918. 918. You're on the air. 918. What's on your mind?
Hey, yo. You hear me?
Yes, 918. What's up?
All right, yeah. This is the infamous Joe Biscuit. My prediction. I had to rethink it overnight. I think it's going to be a very boring, close decision by Anthony Joshua. And I say this for one thing. A lot of people talking about, Anthony Joshua's got power. He's got hand speed. He's got this and that. I'm like, yeah, he does. But, like, have you ever, like, taken a roundhouse kick to the face? Francis has. He's taken heavy hits from guys like Alistair Overeem, who was a kickboxing world heavyweight champion. Guys like Stipe Miocic, who's been sleeping guys with kicks and punches. Like, yeah, AJ's got power, but, I mean, he's got hand power. And a kick is a lot harder than a punch. So I don't think he's going to have enough power to just knock him out and come forward. I think what's going to happen is AJ might try that for the first 3 rounds. He's going to realize, I can't knock this guy out. He can knock me out. I'm going to start just running around, jabbing. Maybe Francis gets a hit or 2 in, but it's going to be a sleeper. You're going to fall asleep. You're going to wake up and see Anthony Joshua's hand being raised. That's what's going to happen.
You know what, Biscuit? That sounds like a sensible prediction. That's why I'm leaning to Joshua decision, because we know Joshua's not a seek and destroy type guy. And if, his last...
Oh, no. And especially now where he's been gun shy since the Ruiz fight. Like Usyk, who's not really known for power, shook Joshua. Joshua was afraid to stand and bang with Usyk. Even after, when Usyk fired back, he hurt Usyk. Usyk fired back, I think it was in the 8th round. Joshua got Usyk hurt. Usyk, his response was to fire back, and Joshua was just like, "Oh my God, what is this guy doing? He's hurt me. Why? I thought I was supposed to knock this guy out." That's what I think was going to happen with Francis. Is Joshua's going to land some combinations. Maybe he hurts Francis. Francis's main response is going to be, "I'm going to throw my bombs." He lands the bomb. Joshua's main response is going to be, "Oh my God, he hits hard. I'm going to run away." And it's going to be a boring fight. I'm being honest with y'all. But hey, at least the Zhang Parker fight is going to be good. That one's going to be that's the main event right there.
Yeah, that's what 2 or 3 callers already said as well. They concur with you. In regards to the Joshua versus Ngannou fight, let's not also forget that he's got Ben Davison in his corner. Ben Davison, and that dude is notorious for getting his fighters to play it safe. So that's another factor right there of why this could potentially be a stinker. But I don't know, man. You never know. We'll see. No,
you never know. I will just leave off with this one thing.
Sure.
It's kind of funny though that right now this is what we get to sell cards is like an ex-MMA fighter coming into boxing. I don't know. I just think that's really sad. And another thing about it is that what makes it even sadder is that people just won't stop talking about Canelo. Y'all, it could be I'm not trying to talk about him. It's just it could be anything. It could be several undisputed matches happening in one card, and then just hey, but Canelo. Come on, guys.
Exactly.
This is Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. Hey, Ray Vargas versus Ball. That's another good fight right there. You could talk about that, but come on, bring a Canelo when he has nothing to do with this. Come on, guys. Y'all just really proving that boxing is dead. You know what I mean? With that kind of argument.
Well, I mean, it's also the fact that you don't see people talking about Tank Davis. When Tank Davis is negotiating a fight, you don't hear that being the nonstop thing. I mean, yeah, people will talk about it, but not at the behest or the detriment of other fights. So yeah, it's Canelo mania, man. That's what it seems to be right now. All right. Well,
but people will love to hate on him, but they only bring him up whenever they got nothing else to talk about. All right, anyways, take care, man.
All right, thank you for your call, Biscuit. Take care, man. That was Biscuit right there giving his prediction for us. We're taking predictions right now for Ngannou Joshua, so make sure to call in. Don't forget to hit that like. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Oh, no, excuse me. Before I get to another phone call, we have business to discuss here. Shout out to Sovers for what is he, joining or re-upping? Joining the BDA membership family. Shout out to Never Sobers, who has now been anointed and initiated into the BDA Mystery School. Shout out to you, Sobers. The whole being naked in a coffin thing, now we don't go for that, so don't worry about that. Shout out to Never Sobers. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Ngannou took clean shots from Miocic, or however you pronounce his name, and seemed okay with 4-ounce gloves. I could see a fatigued TKO stoppage. Ngannou gassed bad in the first Miocic fight. I didn't know that. I will slightly disagree with Biscuit when he said that, well, if he can take a kick, punch is not going to do anything. I mean, of course, yeah, a kick is more of it's like taking a baseball bat to the face, especially whether you get hit in the chin or top of the head, which is usually what occurs with a kick. You're going to feel it and you're going to go down. But that being said, Joshua has enough punching power that if he clips you on the chin, he can take you out. But, and this is to his point, something that we both agreed with, was that maybe Joshua's just going to try to tap. He probably will not invest himself as much as he should to get that knockout. Especially, like I said, Ben Davis in the corner. That dude, he likes to play it safe with his fighters. All right, let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 410. 410, you on the air. 410, what's on your mind?
Yo, what's up, BDA? This is Blue. What it do?
This is who?
What's up? This is Blue.
Blue?
From Baltimore, man.
Oh, okay. What's up, man?
Long time no hear from.
Absolutely, same here. You said Blue,
you
right?
Hear me?
Yeah, you said Blue. You sound a little muffled there.
Yeah,
muffled.
Blue.
Blood, okay.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Oh, all right, yeah. All right, so basically what I was going to go at with it, that last caller who mentioned, or the caller, it wasn't the last caller, but it was a caller a few calls back that had said something about Francis Ngannou taking kicks to the face. I didn't even implement that, but I was thinking that the fact that he did so good versus Tyson Fury, who we know is a good boxer for real, like we've seen him versus Wallin and Wilder and all of that type of stuff, so we know what's going on with him. Damn, what I was about to say. Oh, so the fact that he did so good though, right, is why I'm thinking that he might just have a possibility of dropping AJ in that fight for real, like real live. He might drop AJ too. You gotta remember that. You mean if Andy Ruiz can do it, then you gotta think, man. That's a healthy Francis Ngannou who took kicks to the face, dropped the Tyson Fury, and on top of that is about to come in there with no game plan. Like I mean, he's not going to play no games with AJ. Like I don't know, AJ just might get dropped in this fight. You know? I don't know if he's going to stop him, but I definitely could see AJ getting dropped in this fight.
Well,
like,
you know what, Mr. Blue? That's why he's a 4-1. They're giving him 4-1 odds. In other words, Joshua's a favorite, but 4-1, that seems pretty close to me, and I got to assume that is because of what you're saying, that people are giving him that puncher's chance.
Yep. You got to give him a puncher's chance at least, because they heavyweights at the end of the day, and we've seen what happened with heavyweights, man. They can easily get cut, easily get dropped, easily anything can happen in a heavyweight match. So, I mean, like, the even count Francis and Ngannou out is just crazy. But, oh, yeah, y'all also mentioned the Parker versus Zane. I got Zane knocking this guy straight out, man. Like, smooth the fuck out, man. He's going out cold. And I really hope that we get that Haney Garcia shit jumping, you know. I hope they don't pull out, you know. And what else going on, you know?
Well, let me ask you, let me ask you, because we haven't really talked about it too much. Ryan Garcia, is he faking this? Is he going through some sort of psychotic break? Well, what do you think?
Well, we just seen him go through it before. So I don't know. For real, your boxing's so weird nowadays that I feel like a lot of this shit be like set up to put people in certain positions that either look good or to look crazy at the end. You know, there's just never no telling what the fuck is going on in the background. You know, it's a lot of bullshit going on in the background. It's never no telling, yo. They could be trying to sabotage this Bill Haney for keep coming on all these podcasts, running his fucking mouth, telling everybody they Devin the best out ever and all this other shit. They probably trying to set Devin up to get an upset or some shit like that. You know, they trying to flip little dudes in on the undercards and shit. Like, yo, I don't know what the fuck. This and was it Arnold Barbosa? Them flipping him in like, hey man, if Ryan pull out, we got him ready. Like, why would that already be pre-predicted like that? And now we had a big discussion about it. It's just weird. Like, it's a lot of conspiracies in boxing. You know? That should just be weird. You know? I don't know what the fuck.
It certainly makes for
so
exciting.
I can't really speak on that.
Yeah, it certainly makes for exciting.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. But I don't know either, but it certainly makes for some sort of peculiar and eccentric type of talk, man. All right, well, listen, Blue, I got your prediction down right here. You said...
I just...
Yeah.
Because think about it like this, BDA. Since since Devin done beat up Regis, you done seen Bill Haney on literally every podcast you can think of for real. He done been over that bitch, talking and running his mouth for Devin. You're like, he is one of the best promoters I've been seen quite far. But I'm almost for certain somebody is trying to get him out of there, bro. He's blowing up too fast, yo. Somebody gonna try to start show.
You know what? That's actually yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be motherfucking Ryan Garcia. I don't know if it's gonna be Arnold Barbosa. I don't know if it's gonna be Matias. I don't know who the fuck gonna get Devin out of there, but somebody gonna get you the fuck away from here. Because I'm telling you, they try to bake him a cake.
Yeah, that's
they try to bake that boy a cake.
Hey, that makes sense, man.
I'm telling you.
That makes some sense. They're trying to preemptively maybe get rid of him. Okay, so just remind me before we go. So you said Joshua by...
I'm telling you, there is.
Just to remind me, man. Joshua, you said Joshua by stoppage or by decision?
Joshua by stoppage a bit. I ain't even really rocking with Joshua right now. I'm fucking with Ngannou. I'm gonna put my bill on Ngannou. I'm fucking with Ngannou.
All right. Okay, listen.
I'm
I got you
fucking
down
with the
there
big
for...
man, fuck that.
All right.
I'm a betting man. Yeah. I like
All
the
right.
underdog story. I feel like if anybody can pull it off, BDA, Francis should be able to shake it. And then he just took kicks to the face, like my man said. That's enough for me. Francis, I mean, we never seen AJ take a kick to the face. You never seen him. You mean really just go in there and do anything crazy to a top level opponent? Like who is AJ really just went in there and just really demolished like that? Who was top level? Who you can really say like that guy really was supposed to give AJ a shake to?
That's a fair
and he
point,
just
man.
Demolished him.
That's a fair point right there.
When did you see that?
Yeah, that's a fair point, man. But then again, you could...
So I mean, like
somebody...
Francis really got a chance, yo. I'm gonna fuck with the big dog, Francis and Ngannou, man. That's my pick.
All right, listen,
All right,
Blue, I gotta go,
BDA.
man. I
Be
gotta
easy,
go
man. I'm
here.
pretty sure you got other callers, man.
Yeah, all right, man. Thank you for your call, Blue, and call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy out there.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say though that he makes a good point that Joshua has never really done. I mean, Pulev, okay, he dominated Pulev, but that's a guy like Chisora level. He dominated Parker on paper, and outpointed him, but didn't really demolish him or anything. But then again, this is Ngannou we're talking about. You know what I mean? That's where I can see the point of views that people are throwing out there, the callers, but. At the end of the day, I'm still going with Joshua here, but I mean, I don't know. This is why I'm telling you I'm intrigued by this bout. They got my money, that's for sure. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 559. 559, you're on the air. 559, what's on your mind?
How you doing, BDA?
I'm doing fantastic. 559, what's up?
Hello? I got Francis by knockout, second round.
Whoa!
And then I got Zhang by knockout in the third.
Okay. Break it down, Ngannou, man.
Yeah, I think what's the name? Joshua was going out early, man.
All right. Hey, man. That would be quite a shock right there, man. Worth the $40. But first of all, who is this, by the way? What name do I write down here for you?
Just put D.
D. All right. So you're saying Ngannou. Break it
And
down.
then I
How do
also
you
got...
see... But hold on, the Ngannou thing. How do you see that one going down then? How do you see the Ngannou getting the knockout?
I see AJ trying to work the jab, but then try to catch him with the right. And when he tries to catch him with the right, Francis is going to catch him with the catch and shoot, and bam, crack him and knock him out like he did with Fury. But instead of the knockdown, it's going to be a knockout.
Oh!
He's too chinny.
Jeez Louise. Hey, man. You never know. All right, so you said Ngannou second round knockout. You say Zhang by knockout as well, right?
Last time I called in and I said that, what's his name, Daniel Dubois was going to knock out Usyk, and he did, but that means the referee missed the call.
Nah, come on. I don't think you get credit for
Come
that
on,
one.
you know.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, and then I also got, what's his name, Zhang by third round knockout. I see it easy for him against Parker.
Interesting.
And then I got Vargas by decision.
Vargas by decision. You also want... How about the Madrimov versus Kubratov or whatever his name is? How about that fight?
I'm going for Madrimov or whatever.
Madrimov.
Whatever his name is, Madrimov?
Yeah. Madrimov, yeah.
And then Lerena.
Kevin Lorena?
Is that his name? Lerena versus Honey?
Uh-huh.
And then I got Chamberlain over Goin.
The Goim.
I got Chamberlain by decision, and I got Lorena by 10th round knockout.
All right. Interesting. All right, listen, I got your prediction down that the Ngannou one as well. But anything else you want to say before we move on?
Nah, just keep me in mind when it comes to fruition. Second round knockout.
All right, hey, D, man, if it happens, major credit to you, man. Early knockout right there for Ngannou.
We'll see.
All right, man.
All right,
we'll
man.
see, man. Take it easy, man. Ah, shit, I was going to ask him if he was betting then. Because I know Mr. Blue said he's a betting man, but I wanted to know if D really believes that or if he's betting and he's hoping for that. If he calls back, I'll ask him. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 561. 561, you're in the air. 561, what's on your mind?
Mr. BDA.
What's up, 561? Who is this? Sounds familiar.
It's your boy.
Which one?
Recognize the Matrix.
Oh, Recognize. See, you sound different on the phone, man. That's weird. What's up, Recognize?
Oh, I do, right? I sound more handsome?
I didn't say that.
Oh, not much, man. So I wanted to give my quick little prediction. I think some people are betting on Ngannou. It's more like a hope that they're hoping that he knocks out AJ. I don't think it's realistic. I think AJ knocks him out. I think AJ's he's taking this serious, and he's not. I think he has pride. He's not going to let some novice, even if he was a combat fighter, an amateur boxer when he was younger. You know, I think AJ, who's been boxing in the professional level a lot longer, is going to expose him and probably knock him out within 6 rounds, maybe 8 rounds. I think he will catch AJ with some shots where AJ will be like, "Wow, this dude punches hard." Because he's a big man. He outweighs. I think they're the same height, but or maybe AJ's a little taller, but he outweighs him by a good 20 pounds, some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So he's gonna feel his power. He's gonna get hit with something. But I think if AJ keeps it mid-range, uses his feet a little bit, slip in and out just a little bit, and just stay within mid-range, I think he should have the fight, man. I think he'll be able to see what Ngannou's trying to do. I know he's training with Mike Tyson, but, it's different when you're fighting inside the ring and you haven't done it as long as AJ has. So I'm pretty comfortable AJ stops him. I don't think it go past 6, maybe 8 rounds. He'll get him up out of there.
All right. I got you down for
and
that.
In the Zhang fight, Zhang and Parker, Zhang should knock him out. I think that's another one that doesn't go past 6 rounds. I think he gets him out of there within 6. I think he has a lot of weapons that can catch Parker with some big shots. Parker's gritty, man. So, remember, he gave AJ a pretty decent fight. I thought that fight was pretty close when they fought each other.
Well,
and,
let me ask you that.
Beat Wilder.
Let me ask you, if Parker fights Zhang the way he fought Joshua, which is, very negative fashion, very on the defensive, do you think he can make it to 12 rounds or?
Maybe. He can maybe make it. I say no. Even if he fights like that against Zhang. Zhang has a couple of weapons, man. He has his lead hooks are a power punch, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he can set it up with that. We've seen him do it against Joyce. Joyce is a different fighter, but it still get the job done on Parker. So I don't see Parker surviving, even if he fought the way he did defensively against AJ. All it'll do is just prolong the fight until Zhang catches up with him and stops him.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Chinese water torture, maybe. You know, like that torture they used to do where they did the drop, slowly, one drop on the forehead, then it makes people go mad. That's the way he does. He bites his time. He bites his time. Maybe that's what we'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, Recognize, man, if you're still there, I'm going to call you if you're still there when I get through the phone calls here, because I get a lot of phone calls. But so if you're still there, man, and you want to jump on, I'll call you, right, man? And the rest of the people, too, as well.
No doubt.
All right, man. Thank you for calling, man. We'll talk later. All right, take it easy, man. All right, so that's Recognized right there. Let's just keep it. I got a bunch of phone calls to get through here, fellas. This is the prediction show for Joshua versus Ngannou. So here's what we got so far. We got Mr. BDA, yours truly, going with Joshua. I'm going by points so far, but I haven't really decided, so that's why I'm leaving it open-ended right there. Recognized just said Joshua stoppage between 6th and 8th round. Gonzalo says Joshua 8th round. Sovers says Joshua KO round 6. Zomano says Joshua on points. Richie Rich says Joshua on points. Michael Poe says Joshua on points. Ash says Joshua knockout 7. Quentin Lazarus says Joshua round 7. Quack says Joshua 8th round. Earl Stevens says AJ by decision. Joe Biscuit says Joshua boring decision. Mr. Blue says Ngannou possibly by stoppage. And D said Ngannou 2nd round knockout. So we'll see, man. We shall see indeed. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to who is next? 410. 410, you're on the air. 410, what's on your mind?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, Jerry, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? Man, I'd like to see AJ get knocked out. Straight up. I don't think he should be fighting this guy. When Fury announced he was fighting this guy, he got widely criticized for it. And rightfully so. He put off title unification against the undefeated champ. He got paid a lot of money. I get that. But he got criticized for it and by a lot of people. AJ seems to be getting a pass for fighting Ngannou. And last I checked, the guy has one pro fight that he lost. Yes, he did better than what people expected. But it was very clear Tyson Fury was not in shape. He did not take him seriously. Give Ngannou credit. He's a big, strong dude. He's got one fight, and he lost it. And here AJ is expecting to be called the best heavyweight in the division. Why didn't he fight rematch Parker since Parker knocked off Wilder? Another guy AJ, in my estimation, didn't want to fight. You know, he says he fights everybody, but somehow he's, not gotten in the ring with Wilder. Now, Parker went ahead and took care of that. You got Big Bang. He was right there. I mean, listen, you got the Arab dude that beat the big Russian dude that was on that same card. He looks like a very solid heavyweight. I believe he's the European heavyweight champ. I mean, come on, man. You're fighting this guy. And correct me if I'm wrong. When Tyson Fury fought him, the numbers that I heard that fight did was like super low, like under 50,000.
Oh.
So, I mean, I don't know what you heard. You could tell me, but I heard it was a flop. So I don't even understand the incentive to fight him. Maybe it's going to be big money. I don't know what he's getting paid, but I just hope he gets knocked out. And the reality of it is, I'm going to go ahead and pick Ngannou based mostly on that. My brain says, yeah, AJ should beat him. Yes, he should. But Ngannou, if he shows up and he's improved his hand speed a bit and he fights a little bit more intense, he's got a good chance of beating AJ because AJ's vulnerable in the chin department.
Let me ask you this.
In my estimation.
People in the chat are saying, oh, this guy's a Fury fan or whatever. Between Fury and Joshua, if they were to fight this Friday, who would you pick?
I would pick Fury. Yeah, I would pick Fury. I'm not big on Joshua. He's a vulnerable heavyweight. When he got beat up by Ruiz, he was a 19-1 favorite. Ruiz was an underdog. Now, some people may be willing to just write that off and be in a last-minute replacement like 10 days prior to the fight, if I remember correctly. It showed you this guy's vulnerabilities. And when he gets hit clean, he gets hurt. When he fought Usyk, he boxed him the first time at mid-range, and he got outboxed easily. He came back in the second fight and fought the exact same fight and got outboxed again. like I said last time, he knocked over a couple stiffs, former sparring partners, and then he's fighting this guy. I'm not, and yes, Tyson Fury, I would pick to beat him if he's got anything left. I don't know what Fury has left right now. He's made so much money. He's up and down. You know how he is. But if he shows up and he's in the right state of mind, to me, he's the best guy in the division. But right now, it's hard to say where Fury's at. It's just hard to say. So I'd say he's vulnerable too in that capacity. But yeah, that's what I would say. I'd pick Fury over AJ, and I would also pick Zhang, Big Bang Zhang over him.
All right. Well, listen, I got you down for Ngannou. I wrote hard prediction because you said that you think Joshua should win it, but that you're kind of hoping Ngannou pulls it off. All right. Well, listen, Jerry, you got to move on here, but thank you for your call and call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there.
Thank you, buddy. Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, man, listen, I am giving Joshua a pass in this one. He's fought everybody. They're offering him a lot of money in Saudi Arabia. Fury took it. A lot of people didn't like it, and maybe they won't like. Yeah, listen, if Joshua were fighting Ngannou first and we didn't know anything about Ngannou, yeah, I'd be, I suppose, I can only assume because that's not the scenario that happened, but I'd be like, man, what's he doing? Why is he fighting this dude? But after the Fury fight, this is all dependent on that Fury performance. But like Jerry said, Fury wasn't in optimal shape. And you can try to believe Fury if you want, or you can choose to believe him. I mean, come on, he showed up at 277, a bag of curled cheese, the type of cheese that we use for la poutine here in Quebec. That's what it looked like. I just saw a bag of that the other day when I was at the store. And I said, hey, that kind of looks like Tyson Fury. That he wasn't in shape. But now, can Joshua get past Ngannou? And what is the end game for Joshua, by the way, if he gets past Ngannou? Is he hoping that Fury beats Usyk? I believe they asked Joshua, I think they asked him about that. He said, hey, are you going to go see Usyk Fury? He said, I'm going to be too busy, but he actually said he might be rooting for Fury because he believes that would be a more exciting fight. Now, of course, I think that's why he's rooting for him because he probably knows he can't beat Usyk even now, almost 2 years after their second fight. But you never know. Usyk is getting older, and maybe Joshua catches him like he did in the 8-9 rounds of that rematch. And maybe this time Usyk doesn't walk out of that round. I don't know. Fellas, don't forget to hit the like. Real helps us out. Padukua says, BDA Boxing loves poutine. Now, I actually don't like it that much. Sometimes I get a hankering for it, but it's essentially fries with gravy and cheese. So it's not really all that, it's not rocket science. But it is good. Don't get me wrong. Don't want the Quebecers after my head here. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 214. Is this even working? 214, you're on the air. 214, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, BDA?
What's up, 214?
It's D-Block, D-Town, D-City, D-Ville, Baltimore.
What's up, D-Block?
What's up, my brother? You good, my brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
Man, I'm going to
Hope
give
you're
it
doing
to you
fantastic
like
as
this,
well,
I'm going to give it to you like this, and I'm going to give it to you saucy. Anthony Joshua, the great pedigree of the last era.
Oh.
For me, the pass down Klitschko was of course Joshua. I'm sorry, Joshua. I see Joshua. He did a lot of great things in boxing. He's doing a lot of great things. He did. For me, the mantle should be. I know he lost to Usyk, but he deserves a rematch. After the Fury and Usyk fight, I believe now with Ben Davidson on his camp and in his corner, making adjustments, actually taking time with the big man, I think he has a chance against Usyk in the third fight. We've seen Usyk in his last couple of fights looking kind of not all the way there, especially that body blow, from, Dubois. We know that even AJ touched him in the body at the end like we were talking about, and he was getting those last rounds. I really feel that Joshua knocks out Ngannou, Tyson Fury gets beat by Usyk, and we got a rematch. What do you got to say with that?
Well, first of all, do you want to go with a round for Joshua?
Yeah, third round knockout by Joshua.
Whoa!
Third round.
That early, huh?
Third round. Got to go 3, man. Ain't nothing. When you in boxing and you don't play games like Tyson Fury, he played too much. But Ngannou, he played. He didn't take it serious. Anthony Joshua is taking it serious. He's there to show the world ain't nobody coming into my ring and trying to outpower me or outmuscle me. I'm Anthony Joshua. Facts.
Yeah, he actually said that, by the way. I think they quoted him as saying facts at the end, especially with that.
There you go. We speak nothing but facts here, brother. And I'm gonna let you go like this. Thank you again, BDA. Let's get it on. Friday is gonna be a great fight. I can't wait to see it. Sit down, drink some Coronas, smoke me some weed, and relax.
Oh,
and just chill and enjoy the night. D Block, D Town, D City, D Ville. All
right, take it easy, D Block. Thank you for your call, man. Yeah, he said cerveza, Corona and weed. Neither of which I do. When you're on the true path of the Crimson Cross, you gotta walk away from things like that. Not that I'm disparaging anybody from taking it, but it's just it's the road less traveled, and sometimes you gotta do it in a stoic, heroic, and erotic manner. That's the path of the true path of the Crimson Cross right there. All right, listen, fellas, we're taking phone calls here, taking out predictions for Joshua versus Ngannou. We still have a long way to go here, so make sure to do that. Make sure to hit the like, all right? Hit the like. Really helps us out. JumpTube says, LOL, is that somebody imitating him? Hey, you JumpTube, you're right. It didn't really sound quite like D-Block. I wonder if that was an imposter. You know what? He actually sounded a little bit like Ryan Garcia with the hoarse voice. Maybe this is all part of Ryan Garcia's master plan. I don't know. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 323. 323, you're on the air. 323, what's on your mind?
What's going on, Mr. BDA? Listen, I gotta say that some of the callers about Tyson Fury, in my opinion, Tyson Fury is an overrated fighter. He went tooth and nail with a guy that got obliterated, okay, by a real boxer that never fought a real fighter before. This is the thing. I think Joshua was going to go in there. He's got a really good corner. I think Ben Davidson studies tape. He does a really good job of it. And I think he's going to take him out either by mid-fight to later fight stoppage, because Ngannou is a massive tree he's got to chop down, and he's going to chop that tree down. And I think he's going to just be able to pick his shots. Really, I don't see Ngannou having the most cunning footwork. He doesn't. He's not a boxer like Usyk's a boxer. He doesn't have the footwork. Yeah, he has power, but if you could see that sledgehammer coming, and you can move out of the way, I think he's going to just outmaneuver him, outbox him, pick his shots, and then get him out of there. I don't know why people are doubting him. Also, why are people giving Joshua shit about this? He's not a fucking champion. He doesn't hold any belts. Like it would be one thing if he was a lineal champion or it was a ring. He holds no titles. This is the same exact thing people are saying, like giving shit to Canelo because he's fighting cherry picks now and he's undisputed. Fair enough. You can give him shit about it because he holds the belts. But but people are saying, yeah, you can go ahead and do that, but go ahead and do that and give up the belts. Well, you guys, wake up. This guy doesn't have any belts. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Also, in reference to the last caller that said that the pay-per-view did shitty numbers, okay, that's fine. But you have to remember that Tyson Fury isn't a really big draw. I mean, he's not an attraction like AJ. AJ and Canelo are the only two attractions, and AJ can fight a lamppost tomorrow and he'll sell out Wembley Arena. So, in reference to that, I mean, I have no problem with AJ taking the fight at all. If he wants to make some extra money, cool, make some extra money. You know, these guys deserve to get paid whatever they can for as long as they can fight, in my opinion. I don't care. You're putting your life on the line. And again, he holds no belts, so absolutely zero criticism for me. If he was holding belts, then you can give him shit, because I gave Fury shit for skipping out on the Usyk fight. We're about to see Undisputed for the first time since Lennox Lewis, so that's a totally fair assessment right there. So I do have AJ beating Ngannou. I know Ngannou's like big and whatnot, but I think just by volume, by picking his shots, I think he's just going to be able to select what he wants, and as long as he doesn't get clubbed by something and do something stupid, I think he's going to come in prepared. So I think he'll be fine. I don't have any doubts about it. In the end, AJ I think is a much better fighter, and he's a much tested fighter. You know, he went 2 rounds. I know he went the distance 2 rounds with Usyk, but he went 2 rounds with one of the best fighters in the world. So you've got to consider that as well. Also, he's been dropped. Yeah, he got dropped by a harder puncher in Vladimir Klitschko, and he was able to get back up and beat the shit out of him. So I really don't see this fight going any other way than Anthony Joshua getting his hand raised.
All right, Don Madrazos, I got your prediction down here. Joshua late fight stoppage. And we'll see what happens, man. All right.
And listen, BDA, BDA, I'm disappointed that you didn't ask how I was doing after my nuclear disaster yesterday when I called in.
I wasn't there yesterday. I didn't hear you call yesterday. What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's all right. I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a good.
Did you pull? Wait. Did you pull a Ryan Garcia or something? What happened?
No, not quite. But did you hear that shit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
First of all, he's saying he got raped when he was like 2. Then he was saying that they had him, and then that they couldn't get him, and then he's offering a billionaire like Andrew Tate help to get out of a situation. I'm like, what is wrong with this dude?
Oh yeah.
I don't listen.
You're right, Andrew Tate. Who's got legal problems in Romania, and this guy is acting like he's got Johnny Cochran on speed dial. Like, I can help you. I know people. He seems out of it, man.
He's got the ghost of Johnny Cochran on speed dial. Listen, he's trying to offer him help, and I don't think it's just him acting crazy to move the fight to Vegas. I really don't think that's the case. I think the guy's legitimately like losing his fucking marbles. So. I'm going to be surprised if that fight happens. I heard today, I saw a clip of Haney's dad talking to AB. Is that a possibility?
Oof, I mean, come on. I doubt it, man. I doubt that that would not sell, man. I think they're going to go with Barboza.
How are they going to sell pay-per-views with just Haney alone? There's no way you can do it. You've got to have a name. I know Ring IQ has been bringing up Barboza because Barboza's going to be there anyway, but Barboza doesn't have a name. Like, nobody really knows who that is outside of Southern California. So AB has a name, but that's what I'm saying. Is spectacle at that point. It would just be like a circus.
If they want to keep it on pay-per-view, then Broner would be the logical choice. But then again, we don't even know what type of shape he's in. I mean, there was a clip, somebody posted a clip of him the other day on Twitter, and he's got a fucking gut. He looks like an orangutan. You ever see those orangutans that, like, they're skinny but they got a big gut? That's what it looks like. And I know some people are going to say,
does he look like the front end of the orangutan or the rear end of the orangutan?
Oh, okay, like, when I wasn't paying, I don't look at orangutans' asses anymore. But the point is, look, listen, we don't know what type of shape Broner's in anymore right now. And if they do the Barboza fight, they would probably take that off pay-per-view at the last minute because
you got to take it off pay-per-view. That's like the days of DAZN when he was fighting like Jojo Diaz and all these guys coming up. Like you can't take that fight. That's not a fight. I mean, not that Ryan Garcia is a fight, but that's at least it's got notoriety. Like the guy's known, and people like a lot of girls are going to pay to see it too. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, maybe
anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
All right, Don Madrazos, thank you for your call, man. Take it easy out there. Yeah, maybe a lot of girls are going to pay to watch Ryan Garcia fight. Maybe a lot of CFR Trilateral Commission people are going to be watching that one too. According to what Ryan Garcia says, they love his sweet ass, apparently. I don't know. All right, listen, we still got more long way to go here. Let's go to our phone call here. Don't forget to hit the like. Let's go to 562. 562, you're on the air. 562, what's on your mind?
Yeah, BDA. This is Frank, and I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, Frank.
You're not a true... Yeah, man. I'm here to let you have it, BDA. You're the Crip channel. You're not a true Canalita. I heard you get excited talking about this Crip fight, and I don't appreciate it. I'm just playing, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I'm giving... I just wanted to clear something up because Don Madrazos said that about Joshua, how people are getting angry with him. Joshua... That's how high the bar is for the dude. He's in Canelo level, where no matter what he does, people are gonna, and no matter how he performs, there's always gonna be room for criticism because there's so many eyes on him. That's how. So the bar is always set higher for him.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was just messing with you, man. But Madrasos, I like the dude. He's cool, but he sounds like he's trying to convince himself. Like, look, man, AJ. My prediction, I'm gonna be contrarian, get controversial. I think Ngannou sleeps this guy, especially when I see 4-1. I think he sleeps him in the 10th. And is this a 12-round fight or a 10-round fight?
10 round.
Okay, I think he sleeps him. He takes him to deep water and sleeps him in the 10th. But I just kind of wanted to make a couple points about it, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a circus fight. Oh, go ahead. Oh, thank you. This is a circus fight, and nobody's batting an eye. You know. Meanwhile, you have Zilly Zhang putting on real fights. Okay, he fought Joyce, the Juggernaut. He's fighting Parker, and this is like what I'm talking about boxing. You know, because AJ and Fury trigger people, but these guys don't bat an eyelash, and he's, you know, fighting a circus fight. You know what I'm saying? And what they're doing is they're trying to make this fight. If AJ wins, then this puts him in line for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? You see the kind of like the funny way people look at boxing, BDA.
You bring up some salient points right there.
That was for you, BDA.
You bring up some salient points there, man. I will say that Joshua has earned the right to do something like this, and I concur with Don Madrasos. The guy doesn't have any titles right now. I mean, Jerry did bring up the point that Zhilei Zhang was right there for him to fight, maybe even at Deontay Wilder. But let me tell you, I think Joshua sleeps Deontay Wilder, Robert Helenius style.
Oh,
okay. The way Joshua dropped Helenius, that's
no, maybe now.
Maybe ever, man.
Yeah, maybe now AJ beats him. You think ever? I disagree, but I'm trying to. Let me get some, my points. But yeah, man, that's boxing. I think that's the way it should be, right? Like these guys, Theory and AJ, have never fought. They've been side by side for 10 years, and that's just boxing. And they send guys like Zhang, Joyce. Because do you remember people were so adamant about Joyce? Then he gets slept, and people forget about him.
That's right.
But I like this fight, man. I like it, and because I agree with what AJ's doing. I agree when these guys do these things. They're going for the bag, and then hopefully I want to see Fury and AJ. So at the end of the day, I just really want to see the big events. Like I don't give a fuck about Zane. I don't give a fuck about Parker. Like, do you want to? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man. I think Ngannou sleeps them. I think Zhang sleeps Parker. I think he's legit. And Ray Vargas, yeah, man. I don't know. I think maybe he's kind of a back foot bitch Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got the MSS style, Mexican slick style. Or I don't like him, man.
Yeah,
it's not it. Doesn't work, man. Doesn't work.
But thank you, media. Appreciate it. Have a good show, man. Keep going.
Thank you. You as well, man. All right, that was Frank Bay. Hey, baby, check out his channel, by the way. Frank Bay Boxing. He streamed last night, I believe. So make sure you check him out. What was I gonna say about? He mentioned something that I wanted to. But first of all, hit the like. We're at 75 likes right now. Last time I checked, I believe. 75 likes. Come on, let's get it up to 100. I know we can get up to 100. 25, man. 25 people hit the like, and we still stay on for another 25 minutes to half an hour. Otherwise, I'm ending this shit right now. Some people are going to say, BD, are you threatening us? I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I'm giving you, advising you on this course of action is what I'm doing. So make sure you do that. Trust Mr. BDA. Trust the plan. 2 more weeks. All right. Zhilei Zhang versus Joyce. Zhilei Zhang versus Parker, that is an intriguing fight. Now, Zhang is about, 40 years old? But, of course, in today's heavyweight division, you can't get away with that if you got size and you got power. Much like in the industry days. If you had size and you had power, you could fucking perform until when you're 70s. But the point remains that Zhang has those heavy hands, right hook, straight left, laser-like left, very precise as well. And then because of his bulk and the way he can deflect shots, he can recoup his energy by just standing there, a la George Foreman, and beating his time. biding his time rather, but he's taking on a guy like Parker who, Parker sometimes doesn't get over that hump. Even when he fought Wilder, it was one punch at a time. And he was afraid of that Deontay Wilder counter, which is pretty much non-existent. So, I picked Parker to win that fight, but I wasn't confident because he has that hump. Now, he's got a speed advantage against Zhang. He's got a hand speed advantage, and he's nimble of foot, whereas Zhang likes to plant his feet to generate that type of power. Now, Parker he's a very resilient fella, although when he fought Joyce, it was just a bad style matchup. That was a guy that was going to chomp him down, and Parker didn't have the firepower to keep him honest. But when you fight a guy who's going to give you time, like Anthony Joshua, then I think Parker could potentially make it the distance. And because that's what he's going to get against Zhang. He's going to get a guy who's just going to be watching a lot. So if Parker moves around a lot and fights in a negative style, I could see him making the distance. And don't stand still. Do not give Zhang that opening. Because again, Zhang is flat-footed. And if you keep him off his game by moving, you keep him with his cement feet in place, and he has to reset to try to catch you. Now, the problem with that is Zhang, like I said before, he's got very good, what's the word I'm looking for here? He sets his opponents up. He sets them up to where they go where he wants them to go, and that's how he catches them. And even like if you watch against Hrgovic, who's no slouch, by the way, it's just that he's fought nobody. And that's why people think he sucks or that he's overrated. But he's a very good fighter himself. He has good firepower, and he just couldn't put a dent on Zhang. So that's why I don't think Parker's going to be able to do it. But then again, Parker, who has been in there with everybody, Joshua, Dylan White, Chisora, Andy Ruiz, Huey Fury. I know I'm forgetting somebody here, Takam. But again, he slaps a lot. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We shall see what happens with him. But I do pick Zhang to win. But that speed differential could be a big factor here. Styles make fights, fellas. He fought Joey Joyce, who was essentially standing in front of him, giving him free shots. I don't think Parker's gonna do that. So he's gonna make it trickier for Zhang to get that knockout win. And again, Zhang is in his 40s now, so he could get old at any point now. Nick Paul versus Ray Vargas. I mean, first of all, talk about two odd-looking dudes. Those guys they look like they came out from that movie Freaks. I don't want to cast aspersions on the guys the way they look, but I'm talking about the height differential. Vargas is a tall dude. Ball is a small dude. They're both above and under average for their weight class, so it's a very distinct look that we got here. Ray Vargas lost against O'Shaquie Foster at 130 pounds. Now he's back at 126. He was trying to become a multi-division world champion. And against O'Shaquie Foster, it was just a bad styles matchup. Now he's got a guy that's coming to him. But does Ray Vargas have the punching power, and the technique to keep a guy like Ball off of him? I suspect there's going to be a lot of clinching from Vargas. Hopefully the referee warns him about it, because whether it's an Afro-Anglo, an Arab, Chinese guy, or a Mexican fighting in that ass style, which is the American slick style, which is just the I'm not saying that all Americans fight that way, but I'm just saying the extreme version, that's what I call the ass style, is when a guy just runs around the ring, clinches one punch at a time, shaking his ass, twerking. I hate that shit. And Ray Vargas does that a lot. And Nick Ball, man, if he starts getting wrapped up in Ray Vargas's orangutan arms, hopefully the referee does something about it. Because I cannot stand clinching. And for the people out there that say, oh yeah, but clinching, it's not bad. The rules say no wrestling. And clinching is the beginning of wrestling. It's just that you don't see many people fighting against clinching. They just accept it. So hopefully that we don't get that. Also, the other fight that I'm looking forward to is the Madrimov versus Kurbanov fight. Madrimov hasn't really made too many waves in boxing. That hasn't made a big splash in the boxing, especially here in the West. But he's a good fighter. He has struggled a bit in some fights, whereas in the beginning, I'll put it to you this way. Early on, he fought a Mexican dude who was trained by Nacho Berenstein. I forget his name. That guy gave Errol Spence a tough fight. He was catching him with some flush shots before Errol Spence stopped him. That was a prime Errol Spence or physically fit Errol Spence. Madrimov stepped in only his second fight against that very same Mexican and just wiped the floor with him. So when I saw that fight, I remember I said, "Whoa, this Madrimov, keep your eye on him." And I have kept my eye on him, and he's sometimes he fails to deliver the goods. I guess Kubranov, like I said, he's got 2 good wins, one over Teixeira and the other over Liam Smith. So this guy knows what he's doing in there. It's going to be an interesting fight. I don't know who wins, but I am looking forward to that one as well. So that's what we got right there. The phone lines are still open for about 20 minutes, so that's how long we're going to be staying on here for that. Let me just invite a couple of people here, see what we got going on. And because I do want to get the rest of the panelists. I wasn't sure if they were going to stick around for this, so we got the phone calls through there. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Hopefully, I'm going to go check if we're at 100 likes. If we're not at 100 likes, we might have to cut this one short. That's all I'm saying. So make sure to get them. I'm still calling some people here. All right, we got Jimmy answering here. Jimmy, are you there? Jimmy.
Hello.
I can barely hear you, Jimmy. Are you at the Bohemian Grove?
Hey, hold on.
What's going on?
Actually, no. I'm at the massage parlor getting happy endings. Hold on. Hold on.
Now, is it a guy or a girl that's giving it to you?
It's a 14-year-old Filipino boy.
Come on, no. Obviously, Jim is kidding. He doesn't swing that way. We also have Recognize jumping in. All right, fellas, thank you for being on. Give us your. I'm taking down predictions here. So give us your rundown of the Ngannou Joshua fight, and that way you give me a respite, so I can go take a latrine break. I will be listening, however, to your predictions. That's why I'm trying to set up my fucking phone here that I never use. But yeah, do go on. One of you guys, please.
You want to start, Jimmy?
No, go, brother. You start, because I'm trying to find my headgear. To be honest, I thought this was just BDA calling me. I got to get my stuff together. Sorry.
So yeah, I want to start off by saying that I personally don't like this fight, but I understand that it's a money grab, AJ and Ngannou, and boxing is a business. Whatever's gonna make them the bag, I guess I can't blame them. They're gonna do it. So that I want to get out the way. I don't like this fight. I would much rather him have fought Wilder, to be honest with you. As bad as Wilder looked against Parker. But with that being said, I think AJ is gonna go in there. I think he's gonna be cautious early, because I do believe he's a bit in a sensitive part of his career. He's been knocked out. He's getting older. He's still good enough. He's still skilled enough that I would pick him all day to beat Ngannou. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him to stop him within 6 to 8 rounds, somewhere around there. I think he'll keep it mid-range. I think he'll use lateral movement and his feet to kind of dart in and out, in his way. I think that he'll be cautious of Ngannou's power. Ngannou is a big dude. He's about 20 pounds heavier than AJ, and so with that he can. I'm pretty sure he can hit AJ with a good shot where he'll get his attention, right? And so AJ will be aware of that. And so that's my expectations. Who knows what's going to happen, but I would say that I'm pretty confident that AJ could get him out of there. I don't think it goes past 8 rounds.
Well,
and Zhang should knock him out, man. Zhang should knock out Parker. I think he will knock him out. And BDA brought up a good point. He said something to the effect of, what if he sort of fights defensively, takes a page from when he fought AJ back in I don't know, it's been like seven years at least now. I think that he will do that, but I think he'll still get stopped.
Yeah, that's what they did. Well, I mean, I can see that happening. We'll see how. Like I said, depends on how Parker fights. But by the way, I was gonna say, when you say, "Hey, BDA made a good point," just say BDA made a point, because otherwise it becomes redundant. BDA made a good point. Well, of course, I made a good point. That's what I do.
All right, yeah,
I'm
you
just
got
saying.
a good point there. I mean, a point. You got a point.
Wait a minute. Hey, by the way, I said 4 more people. I said get us to 100 likes, and we're at 96. I went out, took a piss. I come back, and we're still at 90. We're at 96. So 4 more people. Otherwise, after Jimmy's done talking, we're out of here. Jimmy.
Yeah, we're not gonna take.
Hello.
Yeah,
All
Jimmy.
right, well, Mr. BDA, to say I thought you were just calling me. I didn't know you were still on the show. Sorry for my entrance. I thought it was just you because I knew you were on earlier. So there's that. But listen, honestly, so I went back and I started looking at some stuff at Ngannou. I try to find something of him when exactly he started boxing, because from what I can find out, that he definitely went to France to become a boxer. So I doubt very much that he. Yeah, that was his intentions, was to be a boxer. When he first went to the first gym he went to was an MMA gym. He only went in there because they had heavy bags. He had no intention to be an MMA fighter. The guy who's still with him now in his corner, the guy who owned that gym, who ended up letting him stay there because he saw the potential in him. You know, not saying like he took advantage of him. I mean, he gave him a place to stay and taught him some stuff. But so my point is, his heart was always in boxing, whether or not. I don't know when exactly it started. Was he doing? I found one thing, but I couldn't find how credible it was. This article, whether it was like a blogger from Africa, talked about him having a decent amateur record. Didn't say what it was. That's all exactly how he put it. It was a decent amateur record. But so when I watched that fight, he clearly has decent countering abilities, but a lot of that can be learned, because when you're fighting in MMA, you spend an hour wrestling, you spend an hour boxing, you spend an hour, just all these different disciplines. So you can develop some striking ability in MMA, but you have to have some. But if your principle starts off, say you're a wrestler, college wrestler, and you go in MMA, those guys usually aren't going to end up as excellent boxers. But if you started off as an amateur boxer, then you went into MMA. You have, like the blueprint is, the foundation has been laid. So sometimes I look at some of the stuff he does. I'm like, yeah, you can kind of see, like, I like this countering ability, but sometimes you see him throw a punch and it's like, God damn, like it's just too wide. And you're like, yeah, no, that doesn't look like someone who's been too schooled, right? I'm sorry, was that recognized?
Jimmy, you're 100% right. That's what I see. I do believe that this guy, he's got boxing in his background. You could tell. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely tell. But when you brought up the fact that sometimes he throws those punches wide open, that's why I feel like if AJ uses his feet a little bit, right? He doesn't have to be fucking Lomachenko or Usyk in there, but if he just uses it a little bit, stays in mid range, I think as the fight goes along, he sees all those punches, he counters him to the point where I believe Ngannou, as the fight gets later, starts to get discouraged when you fight a guy who's been pro for over a decade. A guy, that's his this is his profession. This is what he's been doing. That's my point of the whole prediction. Is that AJ should beat this guy, and it should be by stoppage.
Well, Jimmy, let me ask you this, man, because first of all, your prediction, and then I have a follow-up question.
Okay. All right. Well, so I was gonna. So my thing is this: people aren't gonna like this, but I think, this is what I would do if I was Joshua. You don't want to get caught with that guy clean. I would say because he's going to be, what was he, 270 something when he fought Fury, right? So around there. Okay, that's a lot of muscle to keep oxygenated, right? That's a lot of fucking muscle. He is going to be guppying by the 5th round. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's going to be, I don't care how much road work you did, he's going to be breathing heavy, and he's probably going to lose about 40 to 50% off his direct power, his snappiness of his punches. When he starts laboring them, starts pushing them instead of throwing them, That's when AJ needs to jump on him, because when your body's sucking for oxygen, you're lacking red blood cells, oxygen in your blood cells, you can get knocked out easier. I think AJ just needs to use his footwork and his boxing abilities, snapping a jab, snap, step back, just snap, having this guy follow him around, right? Even like do things he's not used to. And another thing too, you don't ever want to, because someone who's limited, the more mental things that are going on in front of him, the more difficult it's going to be. Meaning, like, if he trained for a certain style AJ, he sees something even a slightly different, like all of a sudden AJ's backing away and dotting out, snapping a jab, dotting out to his left. And it's like, man, this is because he hasn't trained enough to deal with different things like that. Something as simple as that could throw him off, get frustrated, start throwing punches from distance, which sometimes AJ himself can do. But that and the combination of his being a little slow, he's got some slow hands too, Ngannou. So if AJ does that, if AJ just keeps him out at the end of a jab, uses his footwork and his boxing abilities to frustrate and tire him out, and then say the 6th round, start laying on him, start bringing up the intensity, boom, boom, don't give him time to breathe. You know what I mean? Lean on him, just like make him use his 270 pounds against him. You know what I'm saying? And then just doing it, because the guy's got a good chin. So I don't think it's going to be a one-shot take him out. I think he could take him out if he put it on him, and it just all of a sudden he's on the ropes covering up, and he's just catching, hellfire down on his head because he's just run out of options. I think AJ has the ability to just overwhelm him with his ability, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I think he can stop him. Will he? I don't know. Lately, the last fight we saw, the old kind, more the AJ Wakano was looking for, much more aggressive. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to be that kind of aggressive with Ngannou just because of the power that guy has. I mean, I also checked a lot into his MMA and listened to different people. I respect Joe Rogan's opinion on MMA guys, and he says he's one of the hardest strikers he's ever seen. So that guy can clearly hit. Plus, there's all kinds of gym stories about his power. So he's got the power. That's legit. Hit Fury on top of his head and it went down, although that's not new for Fury, goes down a lot. So I'm torn. I don't know if it's going to be a decision. I don't know. Put it this way. If he does clip AJ, doesn't have to put him down, but just has to catch him clean where he gets that bright light, boosh, like he sees the stars, and he's going to instantly have flashbacks of Ruiz. So anytime he gets hurt, you automatically, it's just human nature. He's going to go back to, oh shit, I don't want to get knocked out. And he'll just beat him on points, unanimous decision. But if he's able not to get caught clean and just does that, goes into like the 5th round, get that big lug, walking around, fucking, you know what I mean? Just getting up off the stool. You'll see, he'll feel it. He'll know when he's in there, when he's pushing his punches, and snap him, crowd him, and just overwhelm him and get him out of there. So I think he'll either stop him in the 10th or win an unanimous decision. Depends on which AJ we see, and that depends on what he's able to do with him. But either way, I don't see Ngannou winning this fight. And if he did win the fight, holy shit, it would turn the boxing world upside down. But and again, the only reason why we're having this fight, which I'm not even big on, we're only having this fight because Fury had to go and fucking put in that performance he put in. If Fury did what he should have done and took the fight serious and gave him a boxing lesson, there would have been no clamoring for this fight. So when Fury says Ngannou owes me, but at the same token, Fury, you look like shit, and so that's why we're here. But so that's my take, brother. What's your question?
Well, hold on. Before I get to that, I got to go to a phone call here, but I want to keep talking about this. And by the way, okay, we're at 100 likes, more than 100 likes, so we remain on the air for at least a little while longer. Let's go on a phone call here. Let's go to 559. 559, you're on the air. 559, what's on your mind?
BDA, first I want to address some things. Francis is not going to weigh in 270 this time around. He only did that for Fury. He weighs around 255, 260. That's what he's going to go into. He's going to be faster and quicker. And then another thing is that Francis has also trained boxing a couple of years, like from the age of 20 to like 24. and then he got ill. Then he crossed the Red Sea to become a boxer. So he's a true boxer in my eyes, bro. I mean, to cross the Red Sea in a canoe, I mean, that makes, I don't know what that tells you, but to me, he's a true boxer, man.
Well, hold on.
I just wanted to,
I'm just curious. I'm just curious about the weight. When's the last time he weighed that he was that slim?
Well, like when he fought Gane, something like that. Gane, something like that. And you'll see.
I think he's right. I think when he fought Gagne, he was in the 260s. I think.
Yeah, I think Gane, something like that.
Yeah.
And Mr.
So when
Boudier,
was
can I
that?
ask the caller a question?
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to ask, where did you read or hear about his amateur? You said that he was fighting. I heard the same thing, that's the reason why he went to Europe, was to become a boxer. That was his dream. Do you have more information on, did he have an actual amateur record? Did he fight for the country he was for? Do you have any information about that by any chance?
Nah, that I know of, they don't show nothing about his amateur career. They just show that he trained boxing right there a couple of years in Cameroon.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Yeah. Okay, brother, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, caller. That's
all right. Well, that's all, BDA.
All right, man. Hey, you hold on? You want to make a prediction?
I already did. It's me, D.
Oh, okay, D. All right. Thank you for your call, D. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right,
thank you, man. You too, man.
All right.
Yeah, I just checked that, by the way, that he fought Cyril Gain. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And that was in January 2022. So when he fought Fury, that was October 2023. So that was more than a year. And now we're in March 2024. So maybe D has a point. Maybe he'll come in slimmer.
You know, does it say what weight he was at in that fight, BDA? I mean, I would be interested in that to see.
Well, if I'm not mistaken,
that was his last fight in UFC. I believe that was Gani or Gagne, whatever, however you say his name.
Isn't heavyweight? Don't they have a heavyweight limit in UFC too? I think they used to. I don't know if they still do. Is it like 260, the heavyweight limit?
I think it's 260 something. But so Ngannou weighed in at 257 in his last UFC bout, which was in January 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, so they probably do have to be at under 260.
Yeah, I saw that fight, and I kind of remember his weight. And you know what's funny? That maybe I'm saying the guy's name wrong, Gagne or Gani, whatever his name is. That guy fucking looks like AJ. Look at him really closely. Why does he look like AJ?
I don't know, man. You tell me. What do you think is going on there?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Like the guy fucking he resembles AJ.
What the fuck? You're right, man. Yeah. He looks like a light skin. He's from France, first of all, this dude. So his name is probably Cyril Gane or something. Yeah, what the fuck? He looks a little bit. Well, in French, it would probably Gan or something, Gane. Well, there's no accent, so there's no diacritical mark. I don't know, man. But you're right. He does look a little bit. Yeah, he's creepy, man.
Now there's Mr. BDA too. There was a thing within him, and now during the UFC, there was after he came on as gangbusters, right? He was banging everybody out, and then he had a fight where I can't remember if I just can't remember, but he either got knocked out or he lost. Maybe it was an arm bar. I can't remember, but he lost. In the next fight, he came back and he fought so timidly. I don't know. I don't know if he lost that fight too, but he fought so like his whole career was like going the wrong direction, and then he came back and he like rediscovered himself. So even in MMA, he's had ups and downs, like where he's got into his own head. So who's to say how he deals with adversity? Because that's one thing we saw. Once Fury was knocked down, that was it. He made no attempt to try to fucking lay the leather on him. And that's, I mean, Christ, he was throwing that elbow to try to gash his eye open so the fight would be called. But
well, that's what. First of all, I don't know. I don't know about the Ngannou situation in MMA. I never really followed him in the UFC. In regards to there's a dispute here about how heavy he's gonna come in at. Let's say he comes in at 272 or thereabouts. That's still a lot of weight, and that's to Jimmy's point that Fury never really pressed him. because after he got dropped, he became hesitant, and Fury was essentially fighting like a giant British John Lewis, 1-2 clinch, jab clinch, and I mean that's a, you're not gonna tire a guy like Ngannou out that way. Joshua, if he comes in at 251, low 250s, I think he's likely to have better stamina. He's got faster hands than Fury. He's better at the mid-range than Fury. So I expect him to try to tire. Ben Davidson, people make fun of the dude, but he probably knows what we know, which is you want to tire out a guy who's in his upper 260s. Tire him out. Now, I also want to recognize something, because recognize you used to kickbox. There's this question about the fact that, well, since Ngannou takes elbows, knees, and kicks in MMA, then it should be a breeze to just take punches with bigger gloves. What do you think about that? Is it as simple as that, or is there more to it than what some people are making out to be?
No, it's not as simple as that. It's not, because, okay, yes, like you can take a punch, you can take punishment. In other words, you know how to take a hit. But remember, boxing's conditioning too. You know what I'm saying? It's just not how much hits you can take. Like of course, a combat fighter. Calm down. A combat fighter. You know, he trains himself how to take a strike. That's the only thing I could prepare him for. But if Ngannou's like, winded, because AJ's working him, and he starts catching him with big punches, it's over. It could be over for him if he starts to get winded. So yeah, like you can take punishment from strikes, from boxing punches, excuse me, because you're in a sport where kickboxing is striking, but it's still about conditioning. It's a big difference when it comes to boxing and kickboxing. That's from my experience.
And Mr. BD, if Joshua was smart, that big guy like that, right at his solar plexus, snap that jab up and down, solar plex, face, solar plex, face, solar plex. Keep hitting him in the solar plexus and make him move. You gotta get him moving his legs. You don't want him comfortable, and you don't want him working in a phone booth. If he just gets kind of standing around and going stern in a circle, and just follow you stationary, just turning his body, that sucks. You want him following you, try to set traps for him, but get him moving his legs. The more you can get that guy moving those big heavy legs, lugging that 270 pounds around, and feints, because somebody is limited fighting as him, he's going to bite at feints. He might even throw at him, because he's trying to do a lot of check hooks, and he wants to counter you. So if you start getting him the wing shots during feints, you start throwing shots and missing, nothing takes it out of you faster than that. So again, you know what I mean? So
yeah, because I can't stress this enough. When Fury fought Ngannou, Fury was fighting him at his pace. One punch at a time clinch, one punch. And remember, this dude's a wrestler. He can wrestling stamina is much different than punching stamina. Wrestling, you're using your different strength, whereas with punching you have to explode. In wrestling, you're not exploding all the time, or as consistently as you are with boxing, which you turning the shots, snapping them. Wrestling, maybe once in a while you have to explode to try to get off of a certain position or to get to a certain position, but you're not doing it every 15 seconds. So, especially in MMA, where sometimes they just lay on the cage and they just stay there, and the referee has to be like, "Work, guys." So that ain't boxing. So yeah, like Jimmy's saying, make this dude uncomfortable, feint him, tap him, jab a lot, make him lean back, which he likes to do, and that takes a lot of energy to come back to position constantly. Yeah, do that, and we'll see what happens there. The other thing is, fellas, the Zhang versus Joseph Parker fight. A lot of people are going with Zhang by knockout. What do you guys think?
Go recognize. No, go recognize.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I would expect that. Parker. Okay, Parker's getting a lot of credit, which he deserves. It's the game for beating Wilder. He was kind of like the guy that was gonna be a stepping stone, so that maybe we could get a Wilder AJ. and give credit to Parker. He beat him up. But what Parker did was really just expose the hype job that Wilder was. But he's still similar, he's still the same fighter. He's still the same guy that recently got stopped by Joe Joyce. And I don't want to play the triangle theory, but if you look at Zhang and the weapons that he has, Zhang's a southpaw, right? Or
Yes.
what is he?
Yeah,
Southpaw, yeah.
But his lead right is fucking deadly, especially when he throws it as a hook, and it gets there fast too. So we were talking about this earlier. BDA brought this up. It's like, what if he fights defensively, defensive mode, and can he last 12 rounds like he did with AJ? And I think he did more than just last 12 rounds with AJ. I think he was competitive in that fight. He lost, but he won some. He definitely won moments in that fight. I just don't think that that will happen with Zhang. Not at this point of their career. I think Zhang packs a lot of power. I think from being a southpaw, he comes at times he comes at an awkward angle, even though he's really big. Be able to see him, but it's still awkward to these dudes. Or at least it looked that way to Joyce. And I expect the same thing with Parker. I think Parker, he might last past 6 rounds, but I'm gonna say nah. He doesn't get out of the 6th round.
Yeah, well, that's the deal. That's what a lot of people are going with. They recognize. I wouldn't be surprised. My question is how good is Zhilei Zhang at seeking and destroying? Because he enjoys. He had a guy that was in front of him. Now he did sort of cut the corners against. Not cut the corners. He cut the ring off against Hrgovic too. And again, people, that's a fresh body right there in Hrgovic who can crack too. And he was still manhandling him whenever he let his hands go. So yeah, Zhilei Zhang could be a problem there for Parker. Jimmy, what do you think?
I'm doing another power fight. Man, he can be so boring sometimes. See, and he's also shorter than Zhang, isn't he? Does anybody know how much shorter?
I believe so. Yeah, 2 inches.
Parker's
I think
6'3". I think Parker's 6'3", Jimmy.
Okay. All right. So he's not as short as I thought. I thought it was around 6'1".
And Zhang is about 6'6" or 6'5", 6'6", somewhere around there. I say 6'6".
All right. Well, Zhang, my thing with Zhang, he's always been terribly conditioned, especially early on. Remember his earlier fights? He gets so sloppy after the 3rd round. It was openings for punches he never threw. It's almost like he didn't take it serious. I don't know. But his fight against Joyce, he showed me some things. But, I mean, come on. Joyce, though, with him, though, I mean, that guy, Christ, he fucking mails you an invitation to punch him, My head will be at this place at this time. You know what I mean? It's just there. He couldn't get away from it. So Parker's not as easy to hit. He's actually kind of hard to hit clean. He's slippery. He's going to have to hide. He's just going to have to hide that left behind a jab. He's going to have to double up real quick. Snap, snap. He's going to have to follow right behind that. As that right's coming back, as his jab's coming back, he's going to have to throw the left. Because if he tries to, line him up with it, he's going to swing and miss a lot, and then he's going to be sucking wind. So he has to hide his punches, which he's actually pretty good at when he does do it.
I agree with that.
So it's, you know what I mean? So he has the ability to stop him. He does have power, and especially if you hide your punch, man. You don't even have to have that much power, but when you hide a punch, and you just get a jab, and then you get a shot right behind it, and you're not expecting it, it can fuck you up. So
he does
that. I can see him stopping Parker. What's that? Recognize?
When he gets in his rhythm, he hides that left pretty good, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most southpaws can if they're good at it.
He's got deception to his game. And see, my problem is I don't usually, if a guy's got better skills, punching power sometimes makes no difference in my prediction. But here, Zhang was walking Hrgovic down, and Hrgovic can crack. Joseph Parker's a slapper. That's why, that's why. Was that?
I thought he edged out the Hrgovic fight. In my opinion.
So do I. But that's the thing, though. Parker has quicker hands. He does have good feet, nimble footwork. But again, when he punches, he slaps. And maybe Zhang is going to be willing to sort of let him throw those hands so he can catch him in between. And Zhang does have relatively good ring cutting skills, as he showed against Hrgovic. But I don't know, man. I think he should win, but there's a possibility that he looks bad, or maybe even that Parker steals a fight. But again, we've said it before here on this podcast. Parker sort of lacks that ability to get over a hump. There's a hump in his way, and it cost him against Dylan White, cost him against Joshua. Against Joyce, there wasn't anything he could do because, I mean, Joyce was coming at him and he was throwing out of desperation. And that was a bad style matchup for Parker. If they fight 5 times, I'm picking Joyce 4 out of 5. And the 5th one, I'm just doing it because I'm giving it to Parker because I'm generous. But you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with this one. We'll see what happens. All right, the other thing is Jaron Anderson. There's a lot of boxing drama nowadays with fucking Ryan Garcia having a schizophrenic meltdown. Jared Anderson, he got arrested a couple of days ago. Then, I don't know if you saw, but they addressed it during the ESPN telecast. And Anderson actually took offense to that, saying, "Are you guys promoting me or what? Why are you talking about this?" Which, I can understand his point. I'd be pretty upset too, but he got into that position himself. Second time he's gotten in legal troubles in the past 5 months. And now he issued an apology. But guys, is Jared Anderson giving you shades of Ryan Garcia here?
No, I think it's 2 separate issues. I think Ryan Garcia
I know, but what I mean is a guy
drug issues. Self-destruction.
He's not really in it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, yes, and listen, my thing is somebody pointed us out to me. They sent it to me to DM. If you look at his mugshot when he got arrested for carrying that pistol and speeding, just look at his licking his lips, head back, slant in his eyes. I put it inside on the chat. Well, in the Discord, if you want to see it. I don't know if you guys saw it in the orange shirt. I mean, he's throwing his best thug face pose in his mugshot. Like, put it this way. For instance, I'll tell you right now, we would see those in intake, right, at the prison. You could almost tell the type of inmate this dude was going to be by his intake photo. When you throw up a photo like that, just that photo, like I said, I don't know if you can show it to everybody if they didn't see the mugshot. That's a fuck you. That's no humility, no shame, no embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Like most people, you're arrested, you see their arrest photos. It's like if they have human decency, usually a shame. It's a shameful thing. Especially when, I mean, it wasn't like he got caught, with a blunt in his ashtray and some overzealous fucking cop just wanted to, bust his balls and arrest him. This dude, was chased by 5 different police outfits through different communities. They broke off the chase 3 times. I mean, serious knucklehead behavior. And then when you finally get caught, you get cuffed and stuffed, and you fucking throw up a mugshot like that. You're mean mugging the fucking photo. Right away, I'd be like, okay, I know what type of dude he is. Listen, clearly something went wrong in the raising. Just saying how it is. His older brother, at 20 years old, murdered a man in front of his family. Whether he pulled the trigger or not, I don't give a fuck. He was with the 2 dudes. And one of them actually said to the judge, they were snickering and laughing when the family was given their, victim impact statement, and they were snickering. And the judge was like, "Don't you even care that you took a man's life?" And he said, "No, I don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers die every day." That was what he said in front of the family. And that was his older brother's friends. Those are the people he associated with. So clearly, what's going on here? You can see it in his face. The money isn't changing nothing. He's enthralled with the thug culture. He just is. And that fucking photo tells me everything you need to know about that fucking dude. And the fact that, what did Haymanite's tweet out? Called him kid accountability instead of big baby. And it's so true. He's no accountability. You're angry. You're offended that ESPN is reporting on your knucklehead activity.
Yeah, why don't you?
It's just unbelievable.
Why you don't get in trouble so that way there's nothing to report? But obviously that's not the case. And in terms of, is he on the road to self-destruction like Ryan Garcia? Yeah, but it's different. This guy's a thug. Ryan Garcia is more harmful to himself than he is anybody else. You know, he's one of these guys that, yeah, he's a boxer, and he'll fuck up the Lehmans pretty easy, and even some pro fighters. But at the end of the day, that's what he does. If there's a demise on Ryan Garcia, it's going to be self destruction, literally self destruction, meaning he fucks himself up pretty bad. This guy, Anderson, he's a thug, and thugs, what they do is they get into a lot of violent drama that leads to violence, and he looks like he's all for that. And so, yeah, they're on the road to self-destruction, but a bit different, in my opinion. One is a thug. The other one is more harmful to himself.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
The reason why I brought that up, the comparison to Ryan Garcia, is because Ryan Garcia is another dude that you could see red flags early on, what with him wanting to get paid up front or getting paid whether the event was canceled or not, rather, and then taking that extended break and blah, blah, blah. And Jaron Anderson saw the same thing. He's crying to Roy Jones in front of the camera saying, I don't want to do this. I'm not built for this. I'm thinking, okay, he's telling you that himself. It seems like this is just another issue of a guy that's big, and that's why he got into boxing. Now, he's not the classic American case of, because we've seen the recent American boxers were guys that got into boxing in their early 20s because, they pull an ACL or something and that ruined their football career. This guy actually started boxing. That's what ESPN keeps telling us. Oh, this guy really actually started boxing, but it seems like it's not something that he enjoys. And again, people are going to say, yeah, but boxing's... Was that?
I doubt it. I think he comes from a team sport background. He gives me all the vibes of that. He's even built like almost like a football player.
Well, the point is, my point is that he's already said things that indicate he doesn't really like the boxing lifestyle, and it's a tough lifestyle. I remember what we always say. It's not just the fights that take their toll. It's a training. It's a repetition. It's mundane. You get up at 4 a.m, run. You hit the bag. And by the way, people forget. Yeah, okay, these guys are on steroids and TRT and EPO, but it's still hard training. You still feel like shit at the end of the day and in the morning, especially after sparring. Your arms hurt, your back hurts, the back of your neck hurts. It's a miserable lifestyle.
The work. That's what he's complaining already about putting in that work.
Exactly.
One of the things that gets you over the edge is the mental part, right? Like you training. I'm pretty like Jimmy used to be a bodybuilder, and BDA, you were just naturally born like a genetic freak. But anybody who knows about training, there's a point where you almost quit in one of these hard training sessions that you do. It's that pushing yourself over that where you look back and say, man, I did it. I wanted to quit that day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to come back and do it tomorrow again. You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow, because you got over that, the workout regimen that you have for yourself is actually better, but you're going to hit that road again. Maybe you had a lot of things going on that day. Maybe you found out some shit. But if you push yourself to complete every single day, that's what makes you a constant improvement. This guy is over here crying on TV. And, people, we got to take this into consideration. A lot of these people are actors, too, because they're on TV. It's not like, we're training in our own privacy or whatever. There's no fucking cameras on us unless we're doing that to ourselves. But these guys, like, the whole crying on TV, bro, I have a problem with that, man. I don't know these people that are crying in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Whether I cry or not, it wouldn't be in front of people I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, exactly. I mean, that was unheard of. Think about the generation that stormed the beaches of Normandy. Like my grandfather, I couldn't even imagine him crying. Although I did see him cry when my cousin was killed, but that's a whole different story. You know what I mean? Because he was only 12. But that was at a funeral. But I'm talking about just crying out of sadness or feeling sorry for himself. Yeah, no, especially publicly. Yeah, no, I mean, those guys even complain about, there was no PTS and I need, medication and, it's different, man. It's the whole culture, man. It's the feminization of the culture. They want that. The masculinity is toxic, which is just the stupidest fucking thing ever created, and they're all playing into it. And it's similar, and it kind of coincides with the victim culture. If you're crying, it's because you're a victim of something, whether it's a victim of your own circumstances, but you're a victim, and now you're in front of everybody, you're on camera, so it's out there forever, and you turn into water, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? Strap up, man. Fucking pull up your fucking bootstraps and shut up, man. Like, don't show the world your cards.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence about that too. These dudes crying and all that. I mean, it's is it the worst thing in the world? No, but at the same time, it's a bad look to be crying on it. All I'm saying is, from a purely practical perspective, if you're crying in front of other guys and they're going to use it against you. Now, somebody could say, well, I don't care if they use it against me as long as I keep winning. But that's the thing with Jaron Anderson. He doesn't have any type of skills that make you go, whoa, he stands out from everybody else in boxing, in the heavyweight division. He doesn't. So that's my take on that.
What was he crying over, too? That also has a lot to do. What exactly was he crying about?
It's a good question. I don't know. You know what? I'd have to rewatch the entire clip, not just that short part. But again, the fact that he keeps getting in trouble outside the ring. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, but that's professional fighters. They're wired that way. They're very impulsive. Yeah, but I mean, you can say that about a lot of guys throughout history, but that's not the norm. For every guy that gets in trouble, you got 5 other consummate professionals who are keeping it all in the gym and not getting into fucking squabbles outside the ring. You know what I mean? So I don't want people to start throwing that and saying, oh, it's normal. It ain't normal. And it could also be indicative of a guy who's, if he's not leading his outside the ring life seriously, how do you know he's leading his boxing career seriously? I mean, it's just too many red flags and too many questions. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, okay, so Ryan Garcia is, again, we can't repeat some of the things he said, and we can't go into that because of, we're on YouTube. But this is what, now Teofimo Lopez is throwing fuel into the fire. This is what he had to, because Ryan Garcia said that his dad is pimping Devin Haney. In other words, he's saying Bill Haney is pimping out Devin Haney. Now, he's got the Diddy connection, that's P. Diddy, and we all know what's going on with that dude, allegations of homosexual harassment and all that. And so now we have Teofimo Lopez talking about Haney. This is a recent interview that he did on a podcast. It's called The Veterans Minimum, I think, something like that. Anyway, here it is. Here's the audio. Actually, hold on a second. I got it muted. All right, here's the audio.
What is a king of Devin?
That's what kings do, right?
Devin's
Kings
a queen.
collide. Kings collide with other kings.
Devin takes it up the butt, if anything.
Kings collide with.
All right, so you heard Teofimo Lopez there saying that Devin Haney takes it up the wazoo. Now, he also said the same thing about that, or something similar about Tank Davis. He says that Tank Davis has dick-sucking lips. Those are his words, not mine. So don't come at me with that. Right. So he could just be trash talking. But I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm starting to get very. I guess my question is, what do you make of all this craziness?
There's something in this industry of being some type of influencer, being on TV. There's something going on there. Listen, I would never know what that's like because I never made it to that kind of level. But it just seems like there's a lot of, okay, let's go to the accusations of Devin Haney pimping his son. He comes off like a guy who's pimping his son, yeah. But so does Teofimo's father. Okay, thing could be said about him. Ryan Garcia, the same thing could be said about him. Whenever you put let's say at a young age, at a very young age, so I have sons that are teenagers, right? And I'm gonna because my son is talented at something that can gain him notoriety, and I'm putting him out there, or I'm even putting him in the hands of people who can take my son to a different level. That's kind of, in a way, you're pimping your son. You're selling him. You understand what I'm saying? You're selling his talent. It's what you're doing. How far does that go? All depends. Okay, it really all depends. And I know you don't want to really get into it too much, and I'll try to say this carefully, but when it comes to Devin Haney, he's been seen taking weird pictures with a guy who's very known, or at least the accusations are that this guy is he sexually assaulted a lot of people, men and women, and especially young boys. He's definitely it seems like he's done that. And so it makes you wonder, you know, for the love of fame, what's willing to go on here, you know, because there's a lot of accusations going on and it seemed crazy, but we've heard crazy accusations in the past turn out to be true. You know, it's crazy when it's immediately said, then, you know, 5-10 years down the road, it's like, oh shit, that person was telling the truth the whole time.
Well, I'll say this, man, because again, we can't talk about it too much on YouTube. You know, you get taken off and flagged and all that, but I'll just say this. With Ryan Garcia, what he's saying is he's offering zero evidence other than his testimony. And his testimony doesn't sound credible because of the fact that when he was on that Andrew Tate Twitter space, X space, whatever you want to call it, and he asked him, hey, Andrew Tate asked him, what woods did they, like Ryan Garcia said, bro, they took me to the woods and they did stuff to me. And then Tate goes, which woods? And then the guy you hear a 2-second, 3-second pause. And he goes, and Ryan Garcia goes again, bro, they took me to the woods. And it's like, it reminded me of that woman who called the cops on Tank Davis, crying hysterically. She goes, he's going to kill me. And then the 9/11 responder goes, who's going to kill you? He's going to kill me. Send somebody. And then she goes, okay, where are you? He's going to kill me. I was like, all right. So it's almost as if they didn't think ahead of the lie. She just probably thought, hey, I just want to stick the cops on him. But she didn't think ahead of how to answer the follow-up questions because she's so emotional. So it's the same thing with Ryan Garcia here. It's possible that he's just so fucked up. He's not thinking about how to deal with with the follow-up questions. Now, is it possible that this is all behavior stemming from the fact that he is indeed telling the truth? Perhaps. This is second Renaissance territory here where we can give you multiple stories where what is being alleged by Ryan Garcia did indeed take place. This ain't no conspiracy theory. And I've heard way too many people dismiss what Ryan Garcia is saying offhand, like, oh yeah, that shit doesn't happen. Meanwhile, then you ask a follow-up question. It was like, well, have you actually done research into human trafficking and all that? And the answer is no. So anybody that dismisses this out of hand...
Now, Mr. BDA, who said he has blowjob lips? What was the actual phrase he used?
Teofimo Lopez said that Tank Davis has DSLs. Those are dick sucking lips.
Dick sucking lips, yeah, dick sucking. So when a guy says that about a fucking, I mean, guys, you know, being crass and shit will say that about a girl, but when you start looking at another dude's lips,
sorry to interrupt, but I was making a point about Ryan Garcia here about the fact that he's offering zero evidence. And then when he starts talking about Jesus and the Noah's Ark and aliens, it sounds like he's fucking high, and this is actually doing a disservice to victims of human trafficking. Because then whenever that subject will come up, people invariably subconsciously link it to a guy who was crying wolf in Ryan Garcia, if indeed he's crying wolf. So I just wanted to touch on that. But
well, it sounds like crystal meth to me, to be honest with you. It really does. Sounds like crystal. Because crystal fucking makes people get like that, especially been up for days. They get into their own head and they start saying stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? And when you've been up for days, I mean, if you just stay up without drugs, you stay up for days, you start hallucinating, saying shit. Never mind if you've been, whacking back some crystal.
Right.
Because he said, I never did cocaine or anything like that, but he could be doing crystal. That's huge. Now, especially since it's coming in from Mexico, it's even more prevalent. So, I don't know. Is he banging back crystal and he's all fucked up? Because I heard that thing with Tate. Dude was just straight lying. And Tate knew he was lying. Tate didn't want to come straight out and say you're lying, but he did everything about that. Like you do realize you're going to have to come, with evidence. You can't just say that. People are going to expect, I got video, but I'm going to show it at a later date. Oh, okay, Wilder. I got all the evidence. I'll show it after my autopsy. Shut up. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true because again, that's exactly what I would have done if had I been in a room with Ryan Garcia. I was like, well, you understand that by doing what you're doing now and you're lying, it's going to completely backfire on you, and you're doing a disservice to the people who've actually gone through this. Because again, this type of allegations require some sort of evidence, and it ain't no joke, is what I'm saying. So for Ryan Garcia, if indeed he's joking, or if he's under the influence or something, then okay, then I guess he's got a somewhat of an excuse. But even then, he refused to provide more details, and that's highly suspect. Then when he gets into aliens in the Ark of the Covenant, and he's got proof of that, it's like what type of proof is a fucking boxer who's not even a champion or anything gonna have? It's nonsensical. And this is coming from a guy who delves into this type of stuff over a second renaissance, and I do this as a sort of as a hobby for the most part, but I'm been doing it for decades now. So it's a bad thing that he's doing, is what I'm saying. And
one of the most laughable things, Mr. BDA, in that conversation with him, everybody knows about Tate's situation. He was basically the Romanian government seized his money, everything. They threw him in jail for 90-something days. And this Ryan, you want me to call somebody? I can take care of that. I know people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? That sounds like, Jimmy, that sounds like cocaine talk. You know, when people get to do cocaine, they get together and they just spout off at the mouth and, I'll call somebody. You know, everyone's got contacts over someone when they're on coke.
Yeah. Oh, no, exactly. And I'm surprised that Tate, I don't know why. Maybe he didn't want to disrespect him because he's a champion. I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't call him out, because when he ever said that, don't worry, I can take care of that. I'm like, Tate's hired probably an army of attorneys and fucking, but Ryan Garcia, some 20-something-year-old fucking Instagram twink part-time boxer from Southern California, is going to call somebody because I know somebody.
Jimmy, the guy that got bamboozled into signing a rehydration clause and catch weight and then blames everybody but himself afterwards for doing that shit. Yeah, that's the dude that's got a Rayful Shapiro in his corner. Come on. And listen, some people are saying, yeah, but BDA,
I can get that squashed for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, if I say that, you can believe me. But if Ryan Garcia says that, I mean, what the fuck? Now, the other thing is, look, am I saying that he's lying? I'm saying it sounds very dubious because of his lack of willingness to talk about what's going on. And some people say, well, BDA, what do you mean his unwillingness to talk about it? He's done nothing but talk about it. That's not what I'm saying. His refusal to provide details is what's very jarring here. And then now all of a sudden he came out a couple of hours ago, said, "Oh, okay, no more of that. I'm only going to tweet about boxing from now on for the next 5 weeks." I mean, I don't know. It's just very erratic behavior. Again, that's not to say that this type of stuff doesn't happen, because listen, there are open secrets out there. Jimmy Savile for decades was terrorizing people, people in the halls of the BBC, even when he wouldn't work there anymore. People knew what he was up to. Can you believe that an entire industry knew about it and nobody did anything about it or talked about it, or very few people talked about it until after his death? So when people say, "Oh, this type of shit doesn't go on," believe me, it's very easy. It is very easy to hide. This whole thing of, well, you can't keep but hold on. When people say, "Well, you can't keep a secret," okay, let's say somebody does come out and say, "Hey, this is what's going on." If you get an entire industry protecting somebody, there's ways to discredit the person that's doing the whistleblowing, because that person, chances are, their only form of evidence is going to be testimony, and you can cast down on testimony if you get an army behind the people that are perpetrating this type of behavior. You know what I mean? So Ryan Garcia put himself in a bad position by doing this, and again, I'm pretty sure it's because he's high.
Well, I thought he almost gave me the vibe that he went on some like party binge, and something happened, and they like it almost seemed like something happened, and he saw something, he did something, and they got video and they got evidence, and he feels like dog shit. You know, like he's just like, oh man.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got guilt over something.
Yeah, that's what
he feels guilty.
That makes sense.
He let
man.
a bunch of fucking millionaires run a train on him, and now he feels fucking guilty about it.
That makes sense because his behavior. That makes sense because his behavior. Yeah, we've been seeing weeks of him with a hoarse voice, acting manic, his eyes getting droopy. But then from one day to the next, he starts talking about getting banged and held down. Yeah, that's true, man. It's like something.
Remember
happened.
what Devin Haney remember when Devin Haney said, "What the fuck is wrong with your voice?" It almost sounded like a friend that's known somebody for a while. You know them, and you kind of pissed off at them because you know they're getting high. You're like, "The fuck is wrong with you?" Like that kind of thing. That's what it sounded like to me when Devin Haney at the press conference when he said, "What the fuck is wrong with your voice? What happened? Oh, what happened to your voice?"
Guys know, man. Guys in the industry know. Guys in the industry know that the rumors of they got spies in the camp and all that. They know, right? If Ryan Garcia is indeed going on coke binges and crack binges, they know what's going on.
Yeah, and yeah. Listen, my thing is this: if I was interviewing him, I wouldn't waste that opportunity. I would say to him, I'd call him out on his shit. So let me get this right: you have information that could end suffering. Have you ever been to the fucking center for exploited and missing children? You know how many tens of thousands of children go missing? And you could actually put an end to that, at least in a small degree. And what, you're just going to not talk about it anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I would put him on blast on that, like to minimize it, because like you said, it does happen, and I don't even want to think about what those poor fucking children go through, the hell they go through, and a lot of them end up in ditches because they don't want witnesses. It's just inhumane, and for him to try to use some of it to get some sympathy clout is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. It's highly disturbing. Now, I did want to say one thing, though. Hold on, excuse me. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution to the Super Chat. He says, Garcia caught monkeypox at a Turkish bathhouse. All right, that's to be expected. And then he says, shout out to him for his contribution. He says, Garcia is good at holding people down and exploding. Oh, come on. I mean, I'm telling you, man, if it's, again, this is disturbing because I understand that. Well, I mean, come on, you can't. That doesn't work anymore, man. Not in this situation. Look, if he's telling the truth, then it's a very difficult situation to grasp, especially for this show. But if he's lying, again, I'm open-minded here, but it doesn't look good so far. It just looks like he's on fucking drugs and he's on a bender. But that's about it, man. Listen, I don't know, man. What do you? Anything else we missed before we go?
One more thing about that, and I know it goes into like second Renaissance territory, but remember, De La Hoya, somebody in the industry bragged about extorting Oscar De La Hoya. That's well known. Okay, so who knows what's going on there? Maybe that's what's going on with Ryan Garcia. Maybe De La Hoya is like fucking, blackmailing him somehow.
Well, if I'll just remind people that this type of stuff doesn't just go in the music industry and the acting industry and in politics and even the military. There's this type of well, again, I don't want to get into this too much, but yeah, they say in the military too, if you want to make it as a general, I mean, as an officer, high level, you got to play the game, and some of that also involves some very pink stuff, if you know what I mean, pink team stuff. They garden uphill, if you know what I mean, and it's not impossible or impossible that it happens in the world of sports. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard said that two people, one higher up guy and a boxing trainer, they sexually molested him. That's in his autobiography. There's also the UK football youth scandal which happened where a bunch of players came out a couple of years ago, of course grown up now, but they said that when they were going through those youth leagues, there was a network of chomos there. So it happened. Is it really that strange?
Also, BDA, that happened in with the Olympic team with the gymnasts. Their doctor got in trouble, the one that was checking all the girls.
Right. And how about Penn State too? Remember that there was an open secret over there too. I mean, that
guy was doing something to the kids in the bathroom or some shit.
I mean, there's just way too many open secret type examples. But again, you need some sort of evidence for this, and sounding coked up on Twitter, talking about aliens and the Ark of the Covenant and all that, it doesn't really help your case. Shout out to Chris K, by the way, for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, Theo took Haney's DSLs for a test drive. Oh, come on. And by the way, I didn't even know that was the abbreviation, DSL. But Jimmy's right, too, though. Jimmy, did you finish making your point about that? about Teofimo Lopez saying that about Tank Davis saying, well, wait a minute, if you're looking at another man's lips and thinking that it's
Yeah, if that's your reaction, you're looking at a dude's lips and not thinking, oh, you got big lips, you got small lips, or he's got fucked up looking lips, but your brain goes to, those lips on a penis. Like, if that's where your fucking brain is going, dude, then you're a fucking blah. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? You got some funny fucking paperwork on you for sure. No doubt about it.
Well, you know what though? To be fair, and I'm sharing the screen with you guys here just to let you know. But to be fair, I've never really seen Teofimo Lopez do or be involved in anything gay looking. I mean, that's just. I will say that. Oh shit.
Look at that, baby. Look at that. Jesus Christ. Rip. They what you got on the strip. The double greatest. The Muhammad Ali. Man, we talking about that. Shut talking about the new tag going on.
All right, so maybe I was wrong about it. Maybe we have seen Teofimo Lopez doing some questionable stuff. But I mean, you know what I mean. It's yeah, for him to say that is really bizarre, man. That's for sure. That's for sure.
You know what though? Sometimes when dumb people try to make jokes, they can just put themselves in it without even realizing. No, you silly son of a bitch. I'm talking about Lopez. Maybe he was just trying to be quick-witted and make a joke about Davis. Like, and he just came out like that, like you have to rethink it. Did he tweet that out or did he say that?
The dick sucking thing?
Yeah.
I think he said that I think that was on video if I remember correctly.
So he was probably off the hip. He thought he was probably being funny, you know what I mean? So obviously that was probably what happened. It just didn't come out right. Because that's something like, that'd be like you're at some fucking, I don't know, Providencetown gay bar and there's fucking Ralphie over there and his fucking, tighty whitey's going, oh, look at his dick SLs. You know what I mean?
Well, Jimmy, he was trying to say it like in a way, like he was trying to call him a bitch. You know what I mean? So that's something that you, like say like to a girl, like that's what you say about a girl. Like, damn, she got some DSL. You know what I mean? So he was trying to say, treat him like I'm gonna talk to you like you're a woman, like you got fucking look, you suck dick. You know what I mean? But it does come out. It does sound wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to say it as a guy, but no, I know I attribute it to that. I don't really think he's gay or anything. I was just busting stones, But that's funny though, man. Jesus Christ.
Well, I'll tell you what's not funny.
What's the next thing he's gonna say? Fucking you got really tight jeans. You know what I mean? Like, I can almost see the outline of your penis.
Come on, Jimmy. What's going on here, man?
Just because I love his ass doesn't make me gay.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh, no.
Great ass!
All right, listen. We've been on for about 3 hours now. I think it's time to wrap it up. I tell you what's not funny, Jimmy.
Is that Al Pacino?
Yeah, that's good old Al.
She got a great ass. That's all his acting's devolved into.
This man has a great ass.
Yells everything now.
Yeah, man.
Great ass.
I've been looking at that sweet, round little ass of yours.
All right, listen, we got to go here. I don't know what's going on here. This show's getting out of hand. But I will say that I want to thank everybody who showed up. Sovers, Recognize, Jimmy. Shout out to you fellas. Everybody that called in to give us their predictions. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this card on Friday. Let me
What's
tell you.
What's your prediction, Mr. BDA? If you don't mind me asking.
Joshua, and I'm leaning towards points because I'm dubious about whether he's really going to step it up and try to take this guy out. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes him out. But I just think also the fight is 10 rounds. It's 10 rounds.
It's 10 rounds?
Yeah. So
okay. I didn't even know that. I thought it was a 12-rounder. All right. Geez, I said 10-round knockouts, so it's probably going to have to, he's going to have to lay it on even late. So clearly, yeah, conditioning, well, you don't blame him. But they fight 25-minute rounds, right? 5-minute rounds. But that's, yeah, you can lay there on top of a guy in MMA. It's different. So, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think if he gets touched early in the first 4 or 5 rounds, I think he'll be content with just sticking and moving and just giving him a boxing lesson. But if he feels him weakened too much, like he really has him weak and baffled, then he can just lay it on him. Because if he gets baffled and winded, he's just gonna just cave. He just fucking morally you just cave.
I can see that happening. Stop. Absolutely. I can absolutely see that happening. But somehow, I don't know if 10 rounds is going to be enough for AJ to do. Joshua does hit harder than people give him credit for. He's up there on Deontay Wilder level type power, just not as fast as Wilder with that straight shot. That's why he doesn't really get that early stoppage the way the stoppage. Also, he's been fighting much better opposition than Wilder, which also explains that. But for the type of guys he's fighting, he can crack, man. This dude's 6'6", 245, 250 pounds. It's a scary guy to fight, man. And again, people underrate him because Usyk, a smaller guy, was able to beat him. But that's because Usyk's Usyk. Again, that's also people underrating Usyk. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But yeah, I am picking Joshua. And shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the Super Chat. Again, he says, seriously, Theo, Garcia, Haney, Davis, modern era, shake my head. Yeah, those dudes, it wouldn't surprise me if they end up making a movie together or something, if you know what I mean.
I agree, Chris.
A buddy cop film?
Well, I was talking about a booty pop film, if you know what I mean. Someone's booty is going to get popped in that movie. So that's what I'm talking about. But look, listen. This is a highly disturbing episode, disturbing content that we're talking about here.
Well, and real quick, too, I just want to add about with Garcia, this move. You know what this does? It also opens the door for him getting out of this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's clearly showing some kind of breakdown. It'd be nothing right now all of a sudden because he's making video, I have no access to my money, like the day after that Tate thing. So what happened since last night that who seized your money? Who when you say they took my money, they took my cards, I don't have access. Who's they, dude? Your parents? Like, who the fuck are you talking about? The government? Like, I don't know, man. So, Jesus. It just seems to me like he's laying the groundwork for a fucking, a mental out. A week before the fight, Garcia checks into a mental facility in Northern California. Something like that. Because I think what it is just stress because, listen, it comes down to this. If he goes out there and gets one fucking weight again, like he goes out there and loses bad, first he gets stopped by Tank, then if he goes out and gets completely outboxed by Haney, there's only so many times your Instagram model looks are going to fucking carry the pay-per-view. Eventually, everybody's going to see what they needed to see. The shine is off it. Like, okay, dude, you can't beat these guys. You're not a fucking world-level boxer. So that's kind of the problem. I kind of respect in one breath that he's going for these fights, but at the same token, if he goes out and loses this bad, which I think he will, that pretty much puts the fucking curtain on his career.
By
as
the
far
way,
as big pay-per-views are.
I just checked that out. I just checked Twitter while you were, and Ryan Garcia a couple of hours ago said that pray for the people of Israel and Palestine, blah, blah, blah. He said, Prime Minister of Israel asked me for a meeting. I said no. But if he wants to talk again, I will, and I will call for peace and a ceasefire. Okay, this dude is off his rocker. And then...
Is that what he said? Are you making that up?
Jimmy, I wouldn't make that up, man. I'm being serious here about this.
So he's boys with Netanyahu?
well, hold on. So then an hour ago, he tweeted, now he's back to boxing, at least for the moment. He said that he has to go against Ngannou due to his... No, he says it's hard to go against Ngannou due to his ability to surprise me and everyone else, especially in the Fury fight. That being said, Joshua in 4 or 8. So he's back to talking boxing, at least for the moment, staying true to his promise. So,
did you catch the video of him speaking in tongues, video?
I saw that you posted that on your Discord. I can't play the video now. I'll just play the audio before we go. But yeah, this is did he post this today or when was this?
I think this was like in the last 2 days. He just posted like a little voice chat,
Copying. Okay, he's copying Shadowban. See, Shadowban was ahead of the game when it came to this.
He really was.
Here's Ryan Garcia.
Whatever happened to that kid?
I don't know. Well, hopefully he didn't get caught by the real lizards. But here's what Ryan Garcia...
I'll hear him on Black and Brown sometimes, I think, or Ring IQ.
Yeah, you know what, Jimmy? I think you might have pissed him off, man. I blame you for that. You lost Shadowban for us.
Fucking crackers. They always fuck everything up.
All right, here's Ryan Garcia sending out a message, I guess, to the people.
All praise Yeshua. I'm speaking in tongues. Don't worry. Those who are prophets know. Those who are priests know. Those who are evangelists know that speaking in tongues is real. But
All right. Now, I mean, is he on something when he's talking like this, or are these the residual effects? Is he suffering some sort of, when people do drugs, sometimes they have a depersonalization, which is sort of like in between
It's
state.
obvious. BDA, he's a chip head, and they cloned his body and some real guy in his eyebrow, and it's over with for Ryan.
Oh yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, you're right. I can believe I missed it. You're right, man. But anyway, yeah, that was him talking in tongues, like Robert De Niro at the end of Cape Fear. And I mean, I don't know, man. I guess we'll see what happens here, man. I'm interested in the boxing right now, but we might do a second Renaissance one of these days to talk about this allegation. Also, maybe recognize if you can break down the whole P. Diddy thing, because you seem to be up on all of that in more details than me. So maybe if you can break it down, and if we do an episode, maybe tomorrow, and I don't know if Saturday. There's nothing going on Saturday, I don't think. Let me just double check the boxing schedule here. March 8th is Friday. Yeah, there's no boxing as far as I know on a Saturday. So we'll see. Fellas, shout out to you guys. Again, want to thank Jimmy, Sovers, Recognize for jumping on. Want to give a shout out to everybody that called in, everybody that gave their predictions, everybody that donated via the super chat. Shout out to you guys. We do have to go. I got to go get something to eat. And shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Benzo. Shout out to Protectorate General, Knockout Ned, Reverend Pickles, 8 Count, Eparokua, Iceman, Fight or Flight Boxing. Who else we have here? Hold on a second. Warp Speed. Shout out to Warp Speed in the house. It says, when is the next second Renaissance? Well, I'll try to do one. We'll try to do another one within the next 3 or 4 days. How about that? Shout out to Earl Stevens. Shout out to FUTV. Shout out to Earl Stevens again. Shout out to him. He's in the house. 8 Count. Oh, Tito Melendez. Excuse me. Tino Melendez. Shout out to Tino. Said, Inoue versus Pantera Neri for May the 6th. Yeah, that's going to be a good one for as long as it lasts. Shout out to Tino Melendez. Shout out to Zero Cool. Okay, I can't say that name there. Party, salty language right there. Pandemic Rat Party. Anyway, listen, guys, I got to go. Shout out to you if I miss anybody's because I got to go. Take it easy, fellas. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.